They call me James, I reducing the stutters. Truth in my grip, what's the narrative shudder? Built on a rock, you built on the gutter. Word like a sword, cut clean through the clutter. Receipts in the text, footnotes ready. Context heavy, doctrine steady. Light in the dark where the mind stay fogged. Name ring bells when the truth gets logged. You run from the cross, but you quote it twisted. Half of a verse, whole meaning missing. I don't shout loud, I reason precise. Grace in the tone, but steel in the vice. James 007 on a mission with scripture. Not for the fame, but to heal what's fractured. Lost and confused, I step in the room. Truth goes boom when the lies meet doom. Boom shakalaka, the word don't fold. Boom shakalaka, truth break molds. Boom shakalaka, light that conquers. Jesus always wins, no imposters. Boom shakalaka, strong and steady. Boom shakalaka, stay truth ready. Boom shakalaka, kingdom come, every life fall when the king is one.
God bless you guys. God bless. God bless. Yes, technical problems, technical difficulties. Unbelievable how we get restricted and stuff like that. Unbelievable. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. But, we will just push on through, guys. Push on through. I was restricted as I opened the live. That's how crazy it is. I was restricted when I opened the live. So the question would be today, yesterday we asked was, is Islam misunderstood? Did we make a mistake when it came to Islam? What did we, how do we make it make sense? It says, what are the misconceptions of Islam? That's what we started with. And unfortunately, looking at the misconceptions of Islam, we have to also ask ourselves, well, if there's misconceptions in Islam, is it because that's what Islam has given us? Or is it because we are just, evil people that no idea? We got no idea. Is that what they want us to believe? Is that what they want you to believe? Is that what they're saying is true? How do we deal with this, guys? How do we make it make sense? Because it doesn't seem as if it's us that's saying this evil stuff. It's us getting it from someone else. And if it's coming from someone else, then who is it coming from? Who is it coming from? That should be the question that most people should be asking. Is it something that this guy called James is making up just because he's bored? Is that what James is doing? Is he making things up just because he be bored? That's what we should be asking ourselves. Where did he get it from? And does he have any grounds for what he's claiming? Does he have any grounds for what he is claiming? Now, it's an interesting topic, this. Is Islam evil? Because the thing would be, what is it that makes something evil? What would make something evil? Where are we getting this from? Also, tomorrow, now for those that haven't seen, there's a woman and her name is Mary Harb. Mary Harb. So she was on with, God bless you, Jibril. She was on with David Wood yesterday or the day before. And her and David Wood had a topic called, was Muhammad's mother a lady of the streets? Now, I'm not going to go back into that topic. That topic is I need more information, even though she has shared a lot of information with me this morning. My topic is going to be tomorrow or the day after is understanding something that Islam has given us. Now, Islam told us, I'm going to show it on the screen. This is now a heads up for the next topic. A heads up for the next topic is that a woman, according to Islam, can be pregnant for many years. Now you'll be asking yourself, what does he mean by many years? According to Islam, yes, Islam does teach that a woman can be pregnant for up to 7 years. Only in Islam can a woman be pregnant for up to 7 years. And looking at what Islam has given us and understanding that Islam is saying that it can, we can be pregnant for up to 7 years, we're going to go to the Islamic sources to prove to us how this is possible. So in my topic on the next couple of days, it's going to be, how is it possible that a woman can be pregnant for up to 7 years? That's the next topic. This is my next topic. So the Muslims, I'm telling you what my topic is going to be. And I'm going to present it as it comes from Islam. Islam gave this to us. Islam said it's possible to give birth to a baby from over 2 years of pregnancy to up to 7 years of pregnancy. And of course, Phil has the info. Should have known Phil, man. I should have known that Phil will have the info for those that don't know and you want to brush up on it before we do the live tomorrow. Phil has it. I have it pinned now on the YouTube. It's pinned on the YouTube. So again, all we're saying is that tomorrow's topic is going to be, how is it possible to be pregnant for such a long time? Many, many, many years. That's tomorrow. Today, the topic is going to be, now again, guys, remember, the topic of how long you can be pregnant for does not come from me. These are coming from the schools in Islam, the Hanbali, for example. They are saying that you can be pregnant for many years. Many years. And not only him, I've got a list of names of all the people that have, laid it out. I actually made it into like a document, so I'll be putting it on the screen. And we're going to go through it to show you guys that this is what is taught in Islam, and these people believe it. They believe it blindly, right? And I actually, did a thing where, according to Surah 13:8 in the Quran, Surah 13:8, Qurtubi says that a woman can be pregnant for 3 years and 4 years and also 2 years. This is Qurtubi for Surah 13:8. 13:8. Qurtubi confirms that. Now we'll have to go to the Hadith tafsirs to understand that. But that's going to be tomorrow. Today, we're still focusing on the same as yesterday, and it is Islam a religion that teaches and promotes evil? Is Islam evil or misunderstood? How have we misunderstood Islam? I saw that Blake was going to come up. Blake, how are you, Masis?
Hi, brother. Salam al-Masih.
Salam al-Masih.
Yeah, so I know that you said you're going to discuss the other topic of pregnancy later. I just want to, let's say, comment on it, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, the first comment I want to say is actually adoption, right? When Muslims speak about adoption, they would say, oh, adoption is banned for the preservation of lineage, right? Meaning you cannot claim a child that isn't yours because you want to preserve lineage. Then how would you justify basically saying that pregnancy lasts for 2 years, for 4 years, for 7 years? That is literally the opposite of lineage preservation. You're contradicting yourself, right? And then, and I'm saying you're contradicting yourself. I'm directing my speech to Muslims, right? Not you. Like I'm not saying.
I get you.
Yeah. And then the second point I want to make is also related to the preservation of lineage. Okay. Other points when it comes to preservation of lineage, like they don't take DNA evidence. In Sharia courts, they wouldn't acknowledge DNA evidence. They wouldn't acknowledge cameras, for example. In case of marriage, so even and I would argue, and actually I think it's consensus. If a lady got pregnant, regardless of who impregnated her, if she's married, the child biologically is gonna be her husband. meaning a husband would have to claim the children, provide for them. Basically, he doesn't have a way out if his wife is a cheater. Okay, because there's a principle of like al-waladu lil-firash, basically. It's for the bed, like basically the child is yeah. I'm not sure if you heard of this principle.
Yep. If the husband comes home, the owner of the bed is the father of the child.
Correct. So this is one point. And then the other point is if a man impregnated a woman who's not married to, he cannot claim the child. He cannot marry the woman he impregnated. Actually, it is haram for him to claim that child. So we have many points that prove that basically maybe preservation of lineage isn't the area of expertise for Muslims. So they shouldn't claim that adoption is banned because they wanted to preserve lineage. Maybe adoption was banned for something else that I don't want to talk about, but we all know why.
Yep. Talking about Zayd and Zainab.
Well, yeah, you said it, not me.
We're not shy on this channel because we want to present the truth, and that's why Muhammad and them said that that you can adoption is out because you can marry your adopted child's wife. Now, this again is also another part of the topic would be is people understanding that in Islam, one of the things that Islam teaches is that when the woman and the man have a climax, whoever climaxes first, the child will resemble them. Now, this again is showing you the science of Islam, that the child will resemble the first one that has an orgasm. Now, we know that many women have become pregnant before the man has a big O, and yet the child don't look like him. Oh, your child just looks like the mother. Well, hang on a second. She didn't have the big O. How in the world can she look like the mother? Now, this is part of it. Then you've got the adoption. Then you've got the cheater. If you cheat on someone, you need to have 4 witnesses watching it enter and exit the vajayjay. Now we've got a point where the woman. Now again, guys, you must watch the discussion with Mary Hub and David Wood. She goes into a little bit more detail, which I will do tomorrow, showing you guys that the men came to the woman and go, hang on a second. There was a woman that got pregnant after she was married. So she got married, her husband died. 6 months later, she was giving birth to a baby, but she just got married before that. And the ruling was that she was still pregnant with her husband's child, but the womb or the baby, the fetus, stopped developing because she was in grief. And then when she got remarried and she got happy again, the baby continued to grow. I'm not even joking. Not even joking, guys. This is no joke.
Like, it's literally, I'm shake my head. Like, it's like, because they supposedly have a perfect mechanism to make sure that a woman is not pregnant after her husband dies or unalives, or basically after she's divorced, right, which is idda. So by sheikhs or actually scholars saying that women can be pregnant for more than 4 years, then why did Allah decide that the perfect amount or perfect period of idda is 3 months? They're basically saying that the idda laws or the idda rules that Allah decided are not sufficient, so they had to like basically to give us their input.
Now you see, now if Blake was still a Muslim, she would have agreed with what was given to us. But now she can step back and look from the outside and go, hang on a second. Allah says 3 months, but you can be pregnant for 2 to 7 years. Something ain't right. Something's just not smelling good in the fridge. We got to start digging in there to find what about the fridge is causing this stinker poo. Now, again, all we are saying is that this is what Islam has given us. We're just trying to understand it. That's all we're doing. We're just trying to understand it. So, but now we're going to go back to the topic of the day. Topic of the day. Oh, I got Mufasa requesting. I'm not sure if he was coming up to talk about the other topic. Mufasa, how are you, sir?
Yeah, how are you, brother?
All good, my man. All good. So yesterday we ran this topic. We talked about is Islam, what causes Islam to be misunderstood. So yesterday we said, what are the misconceptions of Islam? And the Muslims that came up weren't able to provide us enough evidence that it's a misconception, but it's more fact. So then I thought, oh, let me change it and ask the question, is Islam evil or misunderstood? And what do you think? Have we misunderstood
Right,
Islam?
so yeah, James, if I may, I will address this topic, but can we just go over certain things that were said? I'm going to address this topic, by the way.
Certain things that were said when? Yesterday?
No, today. I mean, like a minute ago.
Oh, about being pregnant for many years?
Yeah. So you said Al-Tabari said so?
No, Qurtubi. There's many. He's not the only one. You've got many. Hanbal says it. A lot of them say it. But that's, I can bring you all the evidence tomorrow.
You were saying someone said she was pregnant and the pregnancy stopped growing until she remarried or something.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have all that. That's why it's for tomorrow. But that's what I will present tomorrow.
You can find it in Hadith, actually. You can find, Mufasa, if you looked up keywords, you will find it in Hadith.
So which part are you disagreeing with, Mufasa?
No, you said the pregnancy lasted like I don't know which tradition you're talking about. The lady was pregnant. The pregnancy.
So let me ask you now. Let me show it to you. Unfortunately, guys, I'm going to try to show it on the YouTube, but let me show you. Well, I have it in front of me. I just checked it now. It took me that long to check it. So I'm on Qurtubi for Surah 13:8, right? And 13:8, and I mean it goes on, but it says the scholars differed regarding the maximum duration of pregnancy. Ibn Jurayj narrated on the authority of Jamil bin Saad, on the authority of Aisha, who said, pregnancy can be more than 2 years. Hang on a sec. Let me just add this to the YouTube. Let me add this to the YouTube so you guys can see. There we go. 1 second, bro. I want the YouTube to also be part of this because this is important. This is very important regarding. So now, unfortunately, guys, on the YouTube, I can't zoom in. Oh, sorry, I can't zoom in on the translation part. But I just show over here. It talks about that. She says pregnancy can be more than 2 years. The time it takes for the shadow of the spindle to turn. This was mentioned by blah 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 Jin Saad. Now Saad is important because he mentions it often. The sister of Ubay Saad said that it was narrated on the authority of Laid blah 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 that the maximum duration is 3 years. On the authority of Shafi, you got Shafi, and it is 4 years. So you've got Shafi, Saad, you've got all these people saying, and it was narrated on the authority of Malik in 1 or 2 of his narrations that it was well-known opinion of him. Let me just translate another section. So this is what you guys are supposed to believe, my man. We just believe.
We are not supposed to believe.
Watch. It says 5 years, and then it was narrated from him that there is no limit to it, even if it exceeds 10 years. And this is the third narration from him, and from Zuhri 6 and 7. So in Islam, Muslims, Allah, all of you guys are now forced to believe that a woman can be pregnant for up to 7, because it says, and some of the companions made it up to 7, and Al-Shafi, the maximum duration is 4 years. And the Kufans say 2 years and no more. So now my question would be, now we're not talking about how Muhammad's father died 4 years before he was born.
Hadith reference?
Qurtubi. Qurtubi.
Hadith or
No, tafsir.
of what verse?
13:8.
What?
Surah
13?
13:8.
Okay, Surah 13:8.
Yeah.
So, and what is his evidence?
Well, you read it, because today I wasn't really going to show you the evidence and stuff, because tomorrow will be a better day for that. But you wanted to see it, and now that you've seen it, I want to ask you, do you believe that you guys take your Quran from a man who believes you can be pregnant for 2 to 7 years?
Yeah, you haven't shown any evidence that the Prophet believed this.
I didn't ask you
Because
about the
you don't have any
Prophet. I said you're taking from the scholars. The scholars of Islam are teaching you that the same people you go to understand the Quran is telling you that a woman can be pregnant for 7 years. Do you agree that this is pure rubbish?
Well, at first I agree that it is scientifically incorrect.
Okay,
That's
no.
the first thing.
Don't say I didn't say that. Do you believe it's pure rubbish?
Yeah, I don't want to go down and use derogatory terms. So
Why?
I say it's scientifically
Why?
incorrect.
Because
So
you're going to talk.
won't know.
Oh, hang on, Mufasa. If
Bro,
you
calm
believe
down.
this to be pure rubbish, you are taking your Quran from the same people that believe a person can be pregnant for up to
Bro,
7 years.
Calm down. You can be right in one instant. You can be right in one instant and be wrong in another instant.
So just
Doesn't
like
mean when
Hafs.
you're wrong in one
So
instant.
Hafs was a
Let me
thief.
finish, bro.
Hafs was a plagiarizer.
Bro,
Hafs was a forger,
we-
and you take your Quran from him.
we
So
are-
he's bad on one thing, but he's good on another.
we are deviating, bro.
Okay.
So you can be wrong in one instance and be right in another instance. And when it comes to the Quran, we don't take the Quran from one particular individual. We have a whole chain. Right?
But you saw the names
That
I
goes
mentioned,
back to
right?
the top.
You saw the
Yeah,
names I
let me
mentioned.
finish.
The names were
Let
the
me
Hanbal.
finish.
You've got I don't remember who else I mentioned, but these are the people that gave you your 4 schools of thought of Islam.
Yeah, let me finish, bro. So if that is being said, I want to have an evidence from the Quran or from the Hadith that supports this position, because we don't have from neither, right?
Well, what does
Allah
13:8
says
say in the
what?
Quran? What does
Bro,
13:8 say?
Bro,
Well, let's go to the verse. It says, and
it
Allah
says
knows what
best
every
Allah
female
knows
bears.
best what is in the womb.
Yeah, and he increases and decreases in the womb. Now, when he increases and decreases in the womb, what does he mean by increase and decrease in the womb?
Did he say pregnancy time would last more than 1 year?
But we go to the scholars, don't we, when we don't understand the clear Quran?
Oh, so now when you want to make an argument, you use the scholars, and when it doesn't favor you, you throw
Well,
them.
again, you tell me that the Quran is it clear or unclear?
No, it's just I find it funny because
No, don't find
I've been on
anything
the panel
funny just yet.
sometimes.
We finding Islam funny right now. I'm asking you, is this verse a clear verse? Is the again, Mufasa, is the verse according to Islam, is this verse a clear verse or an ambiguous verse?
The verse, well, it is clear in a sense, right? Because
In a
it says Allah knows
sense.
what. Yeah, let me finish. Allah knows what every female carries and what the womb loses prematurely or exceeds, right? So it is talking about an instance when there is a miscarriage. It says when the womb loses prematurely.
Where do you see
right?
that? Hang
So
on. Where do you see that?
or exceed.
Where do you see that?
It says Allah knows best what the wombs lose.
It doesn't. It says Allah
So
knows
that will be
best.
talking about
Allah knows
miscarriage.
what every female bears and what increases and decreases in the
No.
womb. I have it. It's on the screen, bro. Are you blind? Can you look at the screen? It's on the screen. And with him, everything is determined with
It
precision.
says if
There's the
when you go
verse.
to the Arabic, it says Tahridul Laham.
Yeah, you see, that's another thing. So the
Let me
clear
finish.
Quran can't be clearly translated clearly. And now that we go to the clear Quran, you're telling me something that it doesn't say. So
you're misinterpreting.
Allah knows
the
what
verse.
it
says
carries,
Tahridul.
every female, and what falls short the womb, and what they exceed, and everything with him is due proportion. So now,
So when you say fall short, what does that mean?
well, I don't know whether you can get pregnant or not, how many children you're going to have, whether you're going to have 5, 4, 3, 2, but you guys have like 7 or
Fall
10.
short?
Fall short.
Oh my God.
Don't say that. Say, oh my Allah, because you believe in 7, a woman can be pregnant for 7 years. Again, notice what you did now. So all I did was read the clear Quran, and you told me that the clear Quran says something it doesn't say. So if I don't understand the clear Quran, where do I go to get an explanation of the clear Quran? To the tafsirs, correct? When I go to the Quran in the
Yeah,
clear,
we can go
and
to
the
the
clear
tafsir.
Quran is unclear, and it tells me that you can be pregnant for up to 7 years. And the same person is the one that you guys want me to take my explanations from, because he will tell you about the Quran. Now, the four schools, which I will continue tomorrow and prove to you, are all saying the same thing, that the clear Quran is unclear. And when you find it cleared by the people that we go to, it tells you that a person can be pregnant for up to 7 years. Do you agree that that's pure nonsense? Absolute rubbish?
I agree. Yeah, that I agree that's scientifically incorrect. And I don't think the Quran or the Hadith has anything relating to that. And you just said the four schools. I don't think that is correct. You haven't given me an ijma saying this is from the four schools.
I just showed it to you. Is Hanbal one of the schools?
No,
is Hanbal one of the schools?
Hanbal is a school, of course.
Okay, so he agrees to
Hanbal
it.
Is a school.
Okay, so he agrees with it. He says minimum of 2 years. He says maximum of 2 years.
That doesn't make it an ijma.
Okay, so again,
it doesn't make it an ijma.
So again, can I trust anything from Islam so far?
You can trust certain things. Right? Even within the religion, we don't take whatever is said.
So again, hang on, Mufasa. Notice what you've done now. No, notice what you've done.
You want me to have us? You want me to
notice
speak?
What you've done. I asked you. We'll go to the clear Quran. You said it's unclear because you get to get someone else to explain it. I go to the one that explains it, and that idiot tells me a woman can be pregnant for up to 7 years, and he quotes the Hanbal, he quotes the other schools. Now, as I said, this is for tomorrow, so I haven't written down the different schools. But now again, you are proving to everybody that there's these people that you want us to take the religion from, that explain the religion, are talking absolute nonsense. I'm asking you, say that these people are absolute numpties and they don't know what they're talking about.
Actually, the people are very intelligent.
I can see what you consider intelligent.
Let me finish, man. You want to have a talking point or you want to have a discussion?
This was for tomorrow, but you're embarrassing yourself by telling me that you agree with me that these people are rubbish.
Because you're not allowing me to speak. I mean, I think you already have a bias and you just want to prove a point. But if you allow me to speak, I can speak.
So explain it.
I don't know
how long was Muhammad in his mother's womb for?
I don't know. So what I know is this, right?
Was it 2 years, 6 months, 2 months? Which sounds more? Okay.
I don't know. So when it comes to taking from the Quran or when it comes to taking from the scholars, it comes with a condition, right? The scholars are not infallible. We don't take whatever we hear from the scholars. We take what is within, what we can find evidence for within the Quran and the Hadith. That is very clear. That is the position. When you go to Surah Al-Nisa, Allah says, obey Allah and obey the messengers and those in authority. And if you disagree, then refer the matter to Allah and His messenger. So if we disagree with the scholars, we have to go to the Quran and we have to go to the Hadith.
Okay, so I got you. So we went.
Let me
finish. Come on, man. You're like flying this kite so high, you're losing sight of it.
I haven't even spoken for like 2 minutes.
Get a move on.
Yeah, so when we go to the Hadith or the Quran, if their position is not supported by those things, we can dismiss it.
Okay.
Nobody is saying you have to follow his
watch again. Watch again. We can't follow the Quran because it's not clear. We got to go to the explanation. We go to the explanation, it's rubbish. We can't follow that. Then you say, well, find one that actually makes sense scientifically. We can't find that. Now watch this. Abu Hanifa said that the maximum pregnancy is 2 years. Malik ibn Anas said that it was 4 years. Shafi said 4 years. Ibn Hanbal said 4 years. These are the 4 different schools that you follow, correct? Correct? Are those the 4 schools of Islam?
Yeah, you haven't given me the official statement. Can you give me where Ibn Hanbal said it's 4 years? Give me the book.
As I said, that was for tomorrow. All I'm doing you now is walking you to school.
Okay.
Right now, I'm taking you on a little journey. This is take your child to school day. So you're more than welcome, and just pay attention. So now I'm giving you the names. I'm giving you the names. All you can do now till tomorrow, and you can come back tomorrow, is then prove it to us. Because so far, all you've done is proven to me that I know more about Islam than you know. So as I said, if Hanifa said 2 years, Anas Malik says 4 years, Shafi says 4 years, and Hanbal says 4 years. Do you agree that these are 4
You're saying
Muppets?
4 years. You're not giving me the source for this. What is the source?
I'll find the source for you. As I said, this wasn't for today.
Hey,
That's
bring
just
the source
not the
before you make the
goalpost,
claim.
though,
Or I can
James.
just dismiss you, man.
No, you're not. Look,
Yeah, I can dismiss him.
no, you can't.
Yes, I
Here's
can.
how it works, Mufasa. Let me explain this to you. Hypothetically, we get the source right now, or not get the source, and prove the point. Let's say we can get the source. It won't take
Okay,
long.
then get the
Especially
source.
for me. Hold on. Mute up for a second. Are you going to concede if I show you every source from a primary source? I want to make sure that if I take the 5 minutes right now to actually look it up on Shamila, it's not going to take me more than 5 minutes, I promise. Are you going to concede that Islam teaches that pregnancy is 2 years plus?
Yeah, I can. If you bring the book, the in-book reference, I can consider this is their position. Then
Okay.
definitely I'll concede to. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Mhm.
I will consider that is their position. And as I have said before, you came up when I was speaking with James, if I disagree with their position, I have to go and look from the Hadith or the Quran if it supports their position. If it doesn't, I can dismiss it.
Okay, but this is not the issue then. If you just dismiss it, it doesn't mean anything for us because now what you're doing,
I don't care what it means for you, man.
Stop, man. You were complaining when I was trying to interrupt you to catch you on. If you're saying I can throw them under the bus, then it's useless for us to give you that material because you're just gonna say, I agree, this is what they said, and I can just disagree with them. Then you're
And
just
that has been my position.
Buddy, listen very carefully where the issue is. The issue still lies that in Islam, this is what they're teaching, and you claim to be a Muslim. So you
Does this
are
dispute the
accountable.
Quran?
Shut up. So you're accountable to their belief as well. Because
No,
you
I'm not.
also wait, hold on. What do you mean you're not?
How am I accountable for someone else's belief?
What do you mean someone else's belief? This is what Islam
how am I
teaches.
accountable for Hanbal's belief?
Here.
When his belief is not based, let me finish.
Okay.
When his belief is not based on evidence from Quran or Hadith, how am I accountable for his belief?
Okay, so one more time. They are based.
It's such a dumb thing to say.
Mufasa, you're not tracking. They are scholars, the biggest scholars of Islam, representing the 4 major madahib. That means if I combine both of them, you have.
Oh my days!
Shut up, man! Shut up! Seriously. So what you're saying? These so-called scholars are idiots, and my biggest scholars that represent the majority of Islam are idiots. This is exactly what you're saying.
This is such a dumb thing. This is such a dumb.
And if that's the
Are
case,
you still speaking?
yes, and if that's the case, then what you have to do is show us a scholar that can outrank the 4 madahib combined. That means someone that is outrank Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Abu Hanifa, Ahmad ibn Hanbal combined. You have to show me someone that is more credible than these 4 combined. The moment you do that,
the Prophet is
then
more
you're okay.
credible. The Prophet is more credible.
Okay,
And
show me
so
where the
because
Prophet is. Show me where the
let
Prophet
me
is.
finish.
Show it.
Let me finish. And let me finish. The Prophet is more credible because
Yes.
the Prophet is the one.
Show it.
Let me finish, man.
No. You're saying the Prophet is more credible. The Prophet himself said he was in his mother's womb for over 2 years.
Yeah, they have, bro. We don't have the evidence for that, bro. That will be a
What do you mean you
discussion
don't
for
have the
another day.
evidence?
And except you don't believe, let me finish.
What do you mean?
Come-
Wait, no, I need to
Bro,
understand.
bro,
What do you mean
let
we
me
don't have the
finish, man.
evidence?
Do you want to just speak or what?
He's
I just
asking
wanted
for
to
evidence, dude. Mufasa, it's not difficult. He's asking you to bring evidence,
No,
or because so far
no,
the
he
4,
says he says
or
the
so far
Prophet
the
said
4
that we
people,
don't have evidence.
the 4 people
So
that
he
I
has to give me
mentioned,
the
right?
evidence.
The 4 people I mentioned
Okay,
to
I'll get
you
you
are
the
the
hadith,
biggest
James,
clowns.
hold on.
How can I bring evidence for his claim?
Okay, I'll get you the hadith. I'll get you the wait. Hold on, Mufasa. I'll get you the hadith of Muhammad in his mother womb for over 2 years.
Yeah, you said the Prophet said so.
Yes.
So bring the evidence.
Oh,
Okay,
wait, hold
so-
on. Where do you think they got it from?
You said the prophet said so, man. What is wrong with this guy? You said the prophet said so. We know a hadith. When we read a hadith that quotes the prophet, we know this hadith is quoting the prophet because the chain comes back to the prophet when he said this and this, right? So we know that when the hadith is quoting the prophet, we know it. So when you said the prophet said so, I'm expecting a chain. Let me finish. I'm expecting a chain that goes to the prophet.
Only to the prophet, right?
Yeah, I'm expecting the chain that goes to the prophet.
If it goes back to the prophet, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm gonna accept it.
Okay, good.
I believe in.
But you just said this was rubbish. You said this was rubbish. You said anyone that was pregnant for more than 9 months is scientific BS. So you saying you believe the BS. Typical Muslim.
It is scientifically incorrect.
Yeah, so if Muhammad said that he was in there for 2 years, do you agree that it's scientific? Stop saying, oh my God, say, oh my Allah, listen again. So you agree that if you say, so far, I'll mute you because again, you're panicking now. This is what happens when you start crying. So far, what you've done is proven to us that you will take anything from Allah and Muhammad, even if it goes against common sense and science, which you said scientifically it's rubbish that a person, shut it, I'm not done, shut it, I'm not done. So far you accusing this to be rubbish, and now you're saying, but if Muhammad said it, I'll believe it. So I've got it on the screen over here, man. It's Shamila. Hang on a second, let me just see if I can.
Can I speak now?
Sure, man. Why not? You know, you guys are.
Okay.
I'm going to put on the screen now.
So when I say something is scientifically incorrect, it doesn't necessarily entail that it is impossible.
Oh.
Do you think it is scientifically let me finish. Do you think it is scientifically incorrect to say someone resurrected from the dead?
That's not the question. Try not to deflect. Now, don't be a Muslim. Don't go full Muslim. Don't say, oh my God. Don't say, oh my God. Don't go full Muslim.
Is it a scientific possibility for someone
to have it on the screen over here. I found it on Shamila. I found it on Shamila. Let me just show it to you. I told you need to don't cry. Don't cry. You're an idiot because you want to believe the idiots before you that said you can shut it. Let's read. How is that racist? I'm blacker than you, bro. That's not racist.
Did I say racist? I didn't say racist.
Well, anyway, just shut your gob and let me read. Stop talking. Let's read. So thank you, Phil. I have it on the screen. I'm hoping this is what Phil has pointed to, where it talks about we are now on Shamila, book 23,700. Now it says Abdullah blah 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 of Salim, who is the grandmother of Abdullah Badr, on the authority of blah blah blah, on one of the God's blessing, Mahad al blah blah say 7 delegates Hanu and Naifa. It's narrated. Let me see. It goes on and says. Let's see. I'm just trying to quickly run through this so we can see it. It's on the screen on YouTube as well. There we go. So I think we're getting to somewhere now. It says that Wahib bin blah blah Zura, or she was the cousin of Wahab and blessed blah blah blah. He was the brother of the godmother of the Prophet. He was the uncle, bless him and grant him peace, and his foster brother, may whatever. They both used to be nursed by this person, the freed slave of Abu Lahab, and she also blessed him and grant blah blah. Let me just see. There we go. Him, his grant may in peace, was 2 years older than the messenger of Allah, 4 years older, and first is, you need to read it in Arabic, Paul. Maybe it's going to tell you better. But the English one, I just, this is the reference for it. This is the reference for it, guys.
I mean, this guy seemed like doesn't know anything about Islam.
Bro, do you have the evidence?
Yeah, hold on.
Let them show it, bro.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. It's in the Sirah, but you want direct hadith.
Oh, the Sirah, okay.
So you
said the Prophet said.
Okay.
Yeah, you said the Prophet said. So I want a sanad that goes to the Prophet.
So you're catching me on what I said exactly because I grant.
Yeah, I want a sanad.
Okay, so you only take direct statements. So all the hadith that you have in your doctrine is from somebody else. Is that what you're saying? I just want to make sure this is your ruler. So when the hadith is not directly from Muhammad, then that hadith is not acceptable. Is this what you're saying? Please answer the question. When the hadith isn't directly from Muhammad, is this hadith acceptable? That's a general rule for you, right?
Bro, you said the Prophet said, can you
Please
bring the
question.
hadith?
Please answer the question. I want to make sure you're using the same ruler for everything else. This ruler doesn't apply just here. This yardstick have to apply everywhere. Why are you laughing like a donkey? One more
Bro
time.
got cut now. He wants to deflect.
How am I
Oh my
caught?
god.
How am I caught? Okay, look. Let's
You
say,
said you have the evidence, man. Bring the
Sure.
evidence.
so
don't-
Mufasa. Again, please listen very carefully. The yardstick. Let's say I retract and I cannot find one directly from Muhammad, but I can find it from Sahaba. Is this okay? Because now you're
It will
telling
have
me-
it will okay. So it depends, right? Because if you're saying
on
that it's
what?
something, it depends on who is the subject in that particular hadith. Now, this is the
it's
subject in
graded
this
Sahih.
hadith. Let me
It's
finish.
graded
Let me
Sahih.
finish.
No. I
Just
just want to get the
Oh.
dude. I don't want stories. I want your yardstick. If it's sahih, and it is again not directly said from Muhammad, is this
so are
acceptable?
you retracting? That's the first thing. Are you retracting?
I'm not sure yet. I'll have to look it up.
Okay, then
But
bring the evidence.
I don't want to go into wild goose chase because this is about you. You always want to move.
Well,
the
I told you
goalposts.
have the evidence on hand, man.
No, I don't have the evidence on hand. I said
Okay,
I
then
look
bring
it
the
up.
evidence.
I want to make sure that I just have something in hand. So tell me your
Do
yardstick.
you concede
one more
that
time.
you were wrong? Then I can give you my position.
No, I'm not gonna concede until you actually tell me your yardstick.
Then bring the evidence.
Okay, what
I
is
can
your
just dismiss
yardstick?
you.
Is your yardstick consistent?
Are you conceding?
Wow. Okay.
Bro, you made a claim. So if you can't provide the evidence, are you conceding?
So here's the bottom line, guys.
Or you want to save him?
Why this thing, okay, right? He doesn't believe in any of his madhabs, any of the schools, which will eventually get him the link on his schools. But you just do a simple search, okay, and you just ask among the 4 schools, do any of them believe in pregnancy longer than 2 years? And they'll tell you they do. Then you got to go find the exact writing where it is at. Those schools get it. Those schools are not some joke. Those are serious schools of jurisprudence in Islam. And they are basing it on their scholarship, they're basing it on their research of everything else. He says, no, it doesn't matter. So Mufasa in the future will never care about his madhab schools. Also, apparently Mufasa thinks that ijma is required for everything. So I don't know where you get that rule from. There are multiple sources. So you kept on saying it's not ijma, it's not ijma. Ijma is a very, very, there's lots of things that claim ijma. It's very difficult to go find each and every scholar out there to prove it, just like how you guys sit down and say your Quran is mutawatir, but that's just a concept. There's actually no people named in that chain. So it's just taken as accepted. So sources of authority in Islam, and not in any particular order, but whatever it is, you'll have the Quran, you'll have the Hadith, you'll have ijma, you'll have qiyas, analogy also. Those are the sources all accepted in there. And your schools of madhab are taking it from those 4. They look at those 4 sources and they say, oh, that's how they come up with a ruling for Muslims and base their Sharia on it. So to sit down and say you won't take the schools of the 4 schools, I see that 3 out of 4 who say that. 3 out of 4
so
say it.
these guys think that there are only 4 madhabs in Islam. By the way, there are more than 4 madhabs. We have 4 main madhabs. We have 4 main schools.
Did I just
Yeah,
mention the 4 main
Let me-
ones?
bro,
Did I just mention the 4 main
Well,
ones?
Bro, let me finish.
Okay. So how many madhabs are there?
If you guys want to have an echo chamber, I can.
How many
You can speak to yourself.
madhabs are there? How many madhabs are there?
Bro, I don't know. There are so many madhabs. We have individual madhabs.
Okay.
We have
What are
scholars.
the criteria of what is the criteria of majority people taking madhabs? What are the madhabs they take? What's the
Yeah, you have.
ijma of
I just said
madhabs?
there are 4 main madhabs. I just told you
Okay.
that.
So then, if the 4 main madhabs are the mass majority take it, right?
Of course, mass majority take from
Okay.
the 4 main madhabs.
And would you say
Bro,
the
bro,
4 main
calm down,
madhabs are
man.
an ijma? Are the 4
Calm
major
down.
madhabs ijma? Are 4 major madhabs ijma?
Yeah, so if the 4 main madhabs agree on something, we can say it's an ijma from those 4 main madhabs, right? We can say they have a
What if 3
consensus.
out of 4 do?
Let me
What if
finish.
3 out of 4 do?
It wouldn't be an ijma because an ijma means
Okay,
a
all right.
consensus.
Let me ask you this. What madhab
Okay,
do you
guys.
take?
If this is gonna be how this is gonna go, I don't think.
Okay, have a
I
nice
need
day.
to be-
Can we ask him one last question before he leaves?
Yeah.
How long the sperm lives in a woman?
You wanna shift the
But he doesn't know
conversation,
the answer
man?
he
I
gives.
don't know.
No, I just want to make sure that you want something direct.
I don't know, man. That's not the
Tell
discussion
us
we're having.
how much? How many days?
Yeah, that's not the discussion we're having, man.
Why?
Yeah, you know you're getting cooked, so you wanna shift the
No.
goal.
Well, let's see if you actually hold this consistent.
Yeah, you know you're getting cooked, man.
Okay, I'm cooked. Tell me.
Like the 4
How
madhab.
long
I don't know,
sperm-
man. I don't know.
Okay, scientifically, how? If you Google it right now,
I
what
haven't
comes up?
looked. I haven't looked into it.
Scientifically, if you look it up right now, it's two seconds.
I said I haven't looked into it.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Use Google. Can you use your Google right now?
Yeah, you can bring it up. I don't know.
Okay.
You can.
It's 5 to 7 days max.
37 days. Okay.
5 to 7 days max. So
Okay.
That's actually most scholars now, or sorry, not scholars. Doctors would say 5 days. But
Okay.
okay, Muhammad, how many days he said?
Okay. So you're talking about the
Muhammad,
hadith
how many
that says
days
40
did he
days?
Muhammad, how many days did he say?
Are you talking about the hadith that says 40 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we look at the hadith?
Yeah. What's wrong with it?
Can we look at the hadith? That's what I'm
Sure.
asking.
Is it a direct statement from Muhammad?
Yeah, it is a direct statement from the Prophet. And I don't think
Does this
it's wrong.
qualify your statement?
Yeah, I don't think
Measuring
it's
from-
wrong.
You don't think
I
it's
think
wrong?
yeah, I don't think it's wrong.
How
it
could
depends
it
on-
be not wrong?
Yeah, it will be it will not be wrong because of what it means by when it says that, right?
How?
It's talking about it from when the sperm enters to when it becomes developing, when it starts developing all the features, right? So it says 40 days. I don't think that is wrong. But I have to even look at the hadith first. I don't think.
Okay, after 40 days, would it still be called a sperm?
After 40 days, it will be something else, of course. It will
No,
be just a
but
sperm.
Muhammad saying the sperm lives in the womb.
Yeah, let me have the hadith reference
So would
so
it
we
be
can
called?
look at the hadith.
So would it be called sperm after 40 days?
Can you give the reference? So then let's look at the hadith.
Oh my gosh, this guy acts like he doesn't know it, but he knows it.
Bro, give the reference. I know of the hadith, but can you give the reference?
By the way, he
I'm
never
not
brings
denying
any
the
references
hadith.
for him stuff. Okay, he never bring any reference for anything he makes.
I'm not the one making the claim.
That's fine.
In
Yeah, yeah,
every other argument, every other debate we have with you, you're
If I'm gonna make a
famous for
claim, I'm
that
gonna
stuff.
bring.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you,
You
please.
never do.
Hang on a second. Let me give it to you. You can go to Sahih Muslim 2643b. You can go to many others. It says in that one, it says the creation of one of you is like that.
2643b.
2643b is a womb collected in the womb of the mother for 40 nights. And in the hadith is transmitted on the authority. But I'll show you another one where it even says, go to this one, Sahih Bukhari 6594, because this shows you how slow you got to be. And I'll read it for you guys so you can understand why.
6594, you said?
6594 Sahih Bukhari. Now I want everyone to listen to this explanation, right? This is what Muslims want you to believe. They want you to believe this. Now let me read first. It says, Allah's apostle, each one of you is collected in the womb of his mother for 40 days. Rubbish. Then turns into a clot of an equal period of 40 days. Rubbish. And turns into a piece of flesh for a similar period of 40 days. Rubbish. So this guy is saying, if we take from these people, it has to be scientifically okay. Then we go to the 4 schools that say you can be pregnant for up to 7 years, 2 years to 7 years. This guy says, well, it could be different now that you're making it sound like that. So we know so far that science and Islam is like Superman and kryptonite. They can't be in the same room together. Just like we said before, Superman, kryptonite, vampire, sunlight can't be in the same room together. Why? Because it can't work. It doesn't work.
Okay.
I want to see him how he's going to get out of this hadith, because this is direct statement from Muhammad, and he wanted direct statement from Muhammad. Could you do the math for us, please? Because it seemed to me there's 40 days until it becomes a fetus. So, and then from that particular fetus, it's still a flesh without bones. So that means it's not even, it's still in the development stage, because we know that's bones first, then, or no, sorry. I thought it was bones first according to the Quran. Isn't it? Because it seemed to me there's something wrong here.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. I want you to do the math for us. How many 40 days until we see the bones? Unless Muhammad is contradicting the Quran.
Someone's killing the keyboard.
Yeah, he's looking for an answer, I guess.
But he's going to try to
Oh, you
make it
waiting
make
for me?
sense, man.
Wait, I thought you. Wait, I'm talking to someone here, bro. That's why I muted.
So you're going to just try to make it make sense, Mufasa. You know you're talking to someone there, but maybe you got the sound of the ringing bell. You think you're talking to someone important. My whole point again is this topic was supposed to be for tomorrow, but now that we're here, we can see that this guy, when he first started, he said clearly right at the start, only a muppet, a numpty will believe that you can be pregnant for more than 1 year. And he said it's scientifically not viable. It's rubbish. Now we go to all 4 schools of thought according to Islam, and each and every single one of them confirm that you can be pregnant for 2 years to 7 years. Again, as I said, Abu Hanifa said the maximum pregnancy is 2 years. Malik ibn Anas said 4 years. Al-Shafi said 4 years. Ahmed ibn Hanbal, he said 4 years. And there are others that have said up to 7 years, according to Surah 13:8, when you're reading Qurtubi. Mufasa said, pure nonsense. Doesn't work because that goes against science. Now he's trying to prove that a woman will be able to collect, like a collection box, the semen of a man and have it in a womb just lying about there for 40 days. And after that, it turns into a clot of blood. Now, guys, a clot is something that's dead cells. So now it's going to become a clot. And then after that, it's going to become something else, a piece of flesh. Turns into flesh. And then after that, the bones are created. Or is it the bones first?
I found it. The Shafi school I went in. The first one I found is Shafi school. This is Reliance of the Traveler. I was trying to find the original. Right here, the minimum duration of pregnancy is 6 months, while the maximum is 4 years. This is Reliance of the Traveler. Okay, right here you see it. Minimum is 6 months, maximum is 4 years, right here. Okay, the minimum duration of pregnancy is 6 months, while the maximum is 4 years. Okay, that is Shafi.
So I want to ask you something, Jay. Sorry, Jay, both Jay and Paul. Here's my question. We've got the 4 schools of thought that confirm that it can be up to 4 years. We've got Qurtubi that tells us it can be also up to 7 years. Now, these are the people the Muslims want us to go to explain Islam to us. Would any of you take Islam for any of these people, knowing that they think that a woman is an elephant? I mean, I wouldn't go to these people to take anything from them,
No.
because it doesn't seem as if they know much.
Right. It's crazy. I mean, even his commentary about the madhabs. So there's certain schools like in Northern Africa, they take the Maliki school. It's not that even among Muslims, they don't follow every school of jurisdiction. So majority of the Muslims follow the 4 madhabs. 3 out of 4 say this anywhere from 2 to 4 years, or some scholars say 7, but 2 to 4 years is fine with us. Which covers majority of the Muslim population, because 3 out of the 4 schools, majority of the Muslims take that. But this is Shafi right here. And what I do need it for myself is, what page number is this? 568. Reliance of the Traveler.
A guy by the name of Travis told me I downloaded the book from him, and then he said, don't read it, you'll be sick and you'll vomit when it comes to women and how you can split them from one to the other hole. But today I actually asked someone to just resend it to me, because I need to I've got an app where you can reads it to you, so I don't have to read it myself, so I can do stuff on the go, because I'm just too busy to sit down and read and stuff. And I would suggest that you guys that have never heard of this book, it's called The Reliance of the Traveler, read the book, but be sure to have no food in your stomach, because you will vomit when you get to the part of what you can and can't do to little girls. And this again is coming from the schools that we are supposed to go to in Islam to explain Islam. And this book, The Reliance of the Traveler, is supposed to be one of the most used books when it comes to India, or is it Pakistan, when they're explaining Islam to these people. So again, all we're doing is just reading.
It's number one Sharia selling book in the world. Millions of copies. Number one selling. Go try to buy this book on Amazon. It's free. You can just do Reliance of the Traveler PDF on Internet Archive. But on if you actually buy the book, it used to be $100. Now it's gone up to, someone the other day about a few weeks ago told me it went up to $200 almost.
I've had it with me for about 6 years now. I've had the book on a PDF, and I just can't get myself to read it, because man, if you can't stand Islam now, and you think Islam is satanic and evil now, then you go read that book where it tells you can, if you split the girl from one opening to the other. What in the world kind of religion talks about that? Gives you a kind of a, well, then just wudu might be necessary since you tore from one to the other. So that's evil. In my book, this is one of the things that would make Islam evil. And that's not a misconception, because they're teaching you about wudu and how to wash when it comes to that.
By the way, if you take the PDF and just add it to chat, and then ask chat to do search for any topic you want regarding Reliance, it'll pull up the sections for you. So you don't have to actually go through and read everything. Just if there's a topic you're interested in, like pregnancy or child marriage or something like that, then we'll pull it up for you. You just have to go to hit the plus sign on chat and add the PDF. I can't wait till the cost of AI translation goes down. I want all these books to be translated. So many books. Reliance is a gift that keeps on giving. All right. Mufasa left or what?
No, if he's not there, I'm not sure if these guys are going to be, how you say?
Yeah, he left.
Yeah, I dropped him because I don't want, in case, I don't know these people, man. They could be reporting and then I lose the live itself. So we'll go back to the topic. The topic today, since this guy doesn't really want to pay attention, is Islam evil or misunderstood? Yesterday we asked, what are the misconceptions of Islam, but they can't handle that topic. So my topic would be, is Islam evil or misunderstood? And then the question should be, well, what would make something evil? Now I know what Paul calls evil. That would be Surah 65:4. Is that, have we misunderstood the Quran, guys? Have we misunderstood 65:4? Would a Muslim like to come up and tell us that it's not evil and we just misunderstood the verse, just so that we can learn about it? I actually did a quick search for the reliance of the traveler, and when it comes to what it says that it talks about the interdingy, which causes tearing or serious damage to the girl, and how the guy has to then pay financially. He's financially liable and must pay compensation for ripping the girl from one hole to another. That's in the book. It actually explains it in the book. And it says, the book says, it says classical fiqh manuals like this one to cover every possible legal scenario, talking about injury during interdingy, again with the child, talks about the bodily damage again to the child, and then the liability and the compensation rewarded to the child after she's been ripped from one opening to the other opening. Now, because I know my man Travis always, brings it up when he opens the book, he shows you, he reads it from there. This is one of the reasons that I've not read the book, because it's evil and disgusting enough knowing Islam. It's evil and disgusting enough knowing that the Quran says you can dingy a child. Me reading even more into it, man. No worries, dude. No worries, man. You're good. I've got it on the down. I found it, but I want it on my phone. I put it on the computer. Just send it when you're ready. But again, is that evil, or have we misunderstood it? If there's any Muslim who would like to join in the conversation to make it make sense, is it evil, 65:4, or has Paul Bishop misunderstood it? Have I misunderstood it? Has Jay misunderstood it? There has to be a way for you guys to make this make sense and show us that it's not evil. Because if it's evil and you're still following Islam, then you're saying that you're following something evil. So again, we need to be careful how we understand these books. That's right. So Agent of Truth says, in Nasai 3221, Muhammad said that Fatima was too young to be married, and Fatima was older than Aisha. So if there's any Muslims, please, if there's Muslims that want to explain to us that maybe we got it wrong, that the violence is wrong, that the women's rights is wrong, because we've misunderstood this, and this is your opportunity to show us Islam is not evil. For those that are not following, please, my account on the YouTube is called The Agents 007. The Agents 007. I got you, Paul. Paul, if you go to what Mary gave us, she sent it on the chat. Mary just sent it on the chat. Her notes. We can go to her notes, which I haven't done yet. Mary sent it to us. Sent it to me this morning. I asked her for it. And this is talking about the gap. So for those that don't know, Mary Harb, she is with David Wood. They discussed the topic about pregnancy and stuff. And she's shared her notes with me regarding that. It's called Muhammad Myth and Fact. MuhammadMythAndFact.com. And you guys can find a lot of the information there. But yeah, Mary's good. Mary's she's sorted, man. That's a girl that you don't play with her. So thanks to her again for sending it to me this morning. But again, Muslims, this is for you. This is for you guys. Muslims, make us understand Islam without having the misconception, without being misunderstood. If you guys think that we are being misunderstood, or you guys think that you can make it make sense, then please show us that Islam is not an evil religion. If you don't, then we're going to go through, for example, what's on the screen and just understand, well, this is what we were given. And if this is what we were given, Are we misunderstanding it, or do I need to go to the four people that gave us the Quran? No, the four people that explained that you can get pregnant for up to 4 years. Do I go to them for the explanation? Who do I go to for an explanation, guys? If the Quran is not right, if the Quran doesn't make sense. So we'll go to the first one. We'll talk about violence in the Quran. Let's talk about violence in the Quran, since no Muslim is requesting just yet. But Muslims, this is for you to request. You're more than welcome to request and make it make sense. Have we misunderstood Islam? Is Islam evil or just misunderstood? That's the question. You can help so many people by clearing up the fact that we just misunderstood something. That's it. So the first verse I would go to when it comes to, actually, let me ask you, Jay, what's the first verse comes to your mind when you think about violence in Islam?
Oh wow. I guess it's the either 9:5 or 9:29. I'm sure I'm missing something in the Quran. No, not the Hadith, just in the Quran. I mean, in the Hadith, there's like all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, yesterday we did 9:123, right? Talking about the neighbors.
123, yeah.
They're talking about those closest to you and how the command has been given that you can just attack. So we've got people saying sort of 47 to 8:12. Then you got a guy saying, his name is Sam Walk, he says, my F ass. Not sure why you'd say that, but if someone can just mute him a bit there. Don't know why he's trying to ask people to bend him over and write him like he was Muhammad. Why would you say something like that, dude? Why would you say something like that? You want someone to do your behind. What's wrong with you, man? That's on the YouTube, guys. You got crazies everywhere. Crazies everywhere. He's on YouTube, that's right. You got Surah 8:12, Surah 9:05. So what I'll do is I'll pick a verse. The first verse that comes up on any of the screens, I will take that one. Either the YouTube or the TikTok. Quickly, who's the first? Give me the first verse. First verse coming in 3, 2, 1, 0. No, none of you. Man, you guys are slow today. You guys are slow today. 9:29. Burgundy won. 9:29. So in 9:29, this verse over here is what we talk about if we were to go to the violence on Islam. Now notice again, guys. Notice again. If the Muslims don't come up, then we left to our own devices, and we have to read the verse and understand the verse without a Muslim telling us, well, you misunderstood the verse. So if I read the verse for you guys, if I just read it for you guys, it says, fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day. Now, if I stop there, that explains everything about Islam. Just that verse, just me reading just that one section is telling me exactly what I need to know. So I'm going to put on the screen on the YouTube as well, so we can see it. Now, when I read the verse, guys, 9:29, Allah is telling the Muslims clearly, fight the people of the book. Who are the people of the book? That's the Christians and the Jews. Christians and the Jews. And then it says, who do not believe in Allah and the last day. So far, we haven't misunderstood. We haven't corrupted scripture. We're not twisting it and turning it. My question to you guys would be, is that a clear verse so far? Is this one of the clear verses? Or has this caused any doubt? Is this, what do you call it? A verse that needs explanation. Let's see, it says, fight those of people of the book who do not believe in Allah and the last day. That's clear as day to me, right? And then it says, who do not prohibit what Allah and his apostle have forbidden. So the partnership of Allah and his apostle You do not prohibit what they've made permissible. For example, if Allah says that you can commit adultery, and Muhammad commits adultery, and they all commit adultery, and it's all one big adultery party, then we've agreed to what they've just said. Is not no misunderstanding. It says no divine law until they pay, all of them pay the jizya. So far, we understand it clearly from what it actually says. It's telling us clearly that fight those who do not believe in Allah or the last day. That's clear as day. And then it says that they must also pay the jizya, but they need to follow Allah and Muhammad. Is this an evil verse, or what's the opposite of evil? What's the opposite of evil? What is the opposite of evil?
Good.
Good and evil. So is this a good verse? And if it's good, who's it good for? Who is it good to? Is it good only to the Muslims?
All right, real quick. Sorry, I get stubborn in my head when I want to sit down and get links out here. Here's your link. This is a peer-reviewed paper, and you were right about it. Hanafis, this is for Hanafis. We showed you Shafi. Hanafis maintain the pregnancy can extend to 2 years. Layth ibn Sa'd believed the possibility of 3 years could not be ruled out. Shafis and Hanbalis concur that the maximum period of pregnancy is 4 years. This is a view also has been reckoned by greater opinion of the Malikis. However, it has been reported in a narration by Maliki school that maximum period of pregnancy is 5 or 6 years. The narration of 6 years has also been attributed to Al-Zuri. Besides, a period of 7 years is considered to be another narration by Malik, Al-Zuri, and Rabia.
You'd be surprised that I actually knew that. Imagine that. Imagine that. So, guys, that's from Surah 13:8. And all you do is go to Qurtubi and translate the Arabic to English, and you'll notice that it's a mess. These people believe anything. It's crazy, but this is how Islam is. Islam's forcing you guys to believe that you can be pregnant for that amount of time. Now, besides that we're going to do that tomorrow, I need to do a little bit more research on that, and we'll just see if the Muslims are able to comprehend that. In fact, what I can also do is just quote Qurtubi and see if Qurtubi is a liar. The guy said you can take some of what they say, not all of what they say. How do they know what Qurtubi says is true or untrue if he's confirming what the 4 schools have said? If all of them are in agreement and one Muslim named Mufasa says, yeah, but hang on, who do I listen to? So again, guys, we are 120 people on YouTube. God bless you. I hope you guys are following. Just want to say this, on YouTube, the first 6 months, I had between 6 and 12% people, females, on watching my YouTube, and has grown to between 16 and 20% now, which means that we have increased the amount of people that are watching on the daily. Not only that, but it's also quite diverse as to who is watching. I hope that most of those that are actually watching are the Muslim woman, because when a Muslim woman gets it in her mind that, she is not equal to a dog and a donkey, she's definitely going to, create some kind of resistance. She's going to go, ain't no way I'm equal to a dog and a donkey, and therefore I want to do something about it. When it comes to these topics, I am trying to approach these topics not with hate, but with common sense. Common sense. And if I'm looking at this religion through common sense, and we're looking at what is Islam evil, common sense tells me that anyone that teaches you just to walk around unaliving people willy-nilly just because they're not Muslim, common sense tells me that that's not good, then that's evil. So now we've gone to the first verse that you guys wanted, which was 929, that tells you that. Now I want to read the part in this Quran, in this verse, where we go and listen to what the jizya is. Now, again, the jizya, for those that don't know, is the tax that we will be forced to pay. Now, Muslims will say that, yeah, but this is a protection tax. But who is it protecting you from? That's right, it's protecting you from the Muslims. So you paying them not to mess with you. So like the mafia would come to your establishment and demand that you pay them, or else, you know, they'll mess up your shops and stuff. They must have learned it from somewheres. And now I'm going to read you guys, when you're paying the tax to the Muslims, how it actually is. Now, for those that want to dig deeper into how this tax was paid, the Muslims used to make the Jews wear certain colors. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like a yellow ribbon, much to what the mustache man did. They used to also have to crawl to the front and pay this tax. And now I'm going to explain to you why they did these kind of things. So when you look at the verse 929, it says that they must pay the tax. But the tax is called the jizya. Now Muslims will lie again, because that's what they do, about what the jizya is. The jizya, according to the verse, is quite clear. It says that the jizya is a sign of kuffar and disgrace. A sign of kuffar and disgrace. Allah said, if they do not choose to embrace Islam with willing submission in defeat and subservience, it goes on, doesn't stop there. It says, and feel themselves subdued, disgraced, humiliated, and belittled. Now remember, this is now the tax that we are paying for protection, but this is how they're looking at the people paying these taxes. So is this good or evil? Have we misunderstood Islam? Is Islam misunderstood by whose standards? Is it the Christians that are looking at this going, hang on a second? Then it goes on, because it doesn't stop there. It says, therefore, Muslims are not allowed to honor the people of Dhimma or elevate them above Muslims. Why, O sweet sir? Why? For they are miserable, disgraced, and humiliated. So this is how Islam is looking at us. When we're paying the tax, Allah is saying clearly the reason for them paying the tax is that they are miserable, disgraced, and humiliated. This is the God of Islam, TikTok. This is not me. So the restrictions you are sending me is not for me. You need to send it to the God of Islam. It goes on. Muslims recorded that Abu Huraira said that the Prophet said, do not initiate the salam. The religion of peace says, do not initiate the salam. With who? Christians and Jews. So hang on a second. This is definitely the religion of peace, right? You said this is the religion of peace, but Allah says, do not initiate the salam, which is the peace, to the Jews and the Christians. How is that peaceful? It goes on. And if you meet them on the road, what must you do? Force them to what? The narrowest alley. So now we can see that the God of Islam is not teaching good, because my man Jay just said the opposite of good is evil and the opposite of evil is good. So if he's not teaching them good, then he's teaching them evil. Have we misunderstood Islam? And can a Muslim explain how forcing them to the narrowest part is actually good and not evil? That by forcing them to pay the tax, which is disgrace, humiliation, and belittlement, can a Muslim please show me that? Can a Muslim explain that for us? How is that peaceful? Because Allah says, do not initiate the peace. Do not initiate the peace with them. For the guy on TikTok that's using all the foul language and stuff there, Rehanga Maz, whatever your name is, 2779, you're more than welcome to request and answer the questions. I'm just honestly asking, if Islam is not evil, then it's good. And if it's not good, then it's evil. Can you just make it make sense and help me understand? Then it goes on. It says, this is why the leader of the faithful, Ummah al-Khattab, said, he demanded his well-known conditions be met by the Christians. What are the conditions, please, sir? Well, these conditions ensured their continued humiliation, degradation, and disgrace. Notice again, if Islam is not good, then it's evil. If Islam is not evil, then it's good. So far, my question would be, does this look as if this is an evil religion or a good religion? This is what we're trying to find out. So it goes on and talks more about whatever. But my point again is, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing, man? So we addressed the topic number 1, talking about violent verses. Again, no Muslim has come up to argue with me so far, which means that they accept the violent verses, and the violent verses prove that Islam would, by default, therefore be evil. They would therefore be evil, right? You want to say anything there, Jay, about what we just read so far?
It's crazy stuff, dude. I mean, this is definitely evil stuff that they're sitting on and putting forth. I don't. I'd really like to hear from a Muslim as to why. Why do you think this is something that a one true God would take the time to do or promote? It's like a deep-seated hatred for people who do not want to follow His way, or just just humankind.
So
I don't think even in our book they sit down and say that there'll be like, and the insistence on having, this is a distinction, by the way, between Christianity and Islam. There are certain things that have to pertain to do with salvation and following Jesus or Christianity. That is left, the judgment of which is left up to the hands of God Himself to take care of on the day of judgment. In Islam, He delegates that to people on earth. Like if you blaspheme against Jesus or blaspheme against in Christianity, it doesn't say like we Christians need to go and unalive that person. It's like you will face that music on the day of judgment. Many of these things that we're reading out here is that it's always fascinated me as to why their God delegates these punishments to the judgment of people to impose on others for just acts of not following the religion.
Muslims,
We leave the
please
religion unalive.
request.
Yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying, James? Isn't that like that he seems to delegate a lot of that stuff as to go ahead and do all these kind of judgments on those people, just all based on theology and not following the theology. That's it.
So, guys, Muslims, I know that you're there because I see you coming through. I see you guys coming through. I see you in the chats as well on the YouTube. The link is pinned in the chats. So all you got to do is just click on that, join in the conversation. And we've done with the violence now. So since you haven't come up, you agree with us that the violence is evil. Let's move to another one and go to the next one, which would be the woman's rights. Or let's just say the woman in Islam. Now, for those that don't know me, there is a hadith that I always use that for those that don't know, it is talking about a mat in the house. Now, I want to show you something that really, really, really is something that broke my heart the first time I heard it, because let me just see if I can find it first so you guys can see it. You'll understand it when you see it. So I have it on the screen over here. Let me put it on there. And on YouTube, let me remove that. Jay, I'm gonna you killing the keyboard. I'm gonna mute you for a minute there, bro. Thank you. So on YouTube, guys, I'm gonna show you guys on YouTube as well. Now, this hadith is something that, for me, not, how can I say, broke me if it's true. Let me see if I can do that. If I can just, sorry, let me just, it's too big. Okay, that was too big, but there we go. It says, this is Sunan Abi Dawood 3922. Sunan Abi Dawood 3922. And the heading is the divination and omens. So talking about bad stuff. It says, an omen is in a dwelling, a woman, or a horse. Now, omen is something evil. Now, remember now, we just spoke about, we're trying to find out from Islam whether it is an evil religion or it's misunderstood. We spoke about the violence. It turned out to be evil. No Muslim has said, no, it's not. We move to the next part, and the part is woman in Islam. And now it's talking about an evil omen. So it says an omen is in a dwelling, a woman, or a horse. It goes on. This tradition was read out to Harith Abi Mishkin, and I was witness. It was said to him that Ibn Qasim told him that Malik was asked about the evil omen in a house. Now, Ibn Qasim is Muhammad. And in a house, he replied, there are many houses in which people lived and perished, and again others lived therein, and they also perished. This is its explanation. So as far as we know, Allah knows best. But check this part out. Abu Dawood said, Ummah said, a mat in a house is better than a woman who does not give birth to a child. Now, when I read that the first time, I was stunned. I was shocked. I was shocked and I was broken. And then my mind works like, it always does. And I was asking the question, well, hang on a second. Wasn't Aisha one of those that didn't give birth to a child?
That sound effect cut you off. What did you say? Wasn't Aisha what?
Wasn't Aisha one of those that did not give birth to a child? And if that's the case, then what is the hadith saying about her? It says that a mat in the house is better than a woman who does not give birth to a child. Do you see why Aisha said that she has never seen anyone suffer more than the believing woman? Imagine saying this. Imagine someone saying this, and you know that you are childless. You have no child. God created you in a way that you are just unable to have children. Your parts weren't parting, and your womb wasn't wombing. It might be the husband. He might be shooting blanks. Now I'm trying to make this TikTok friendly and YouTube friendly, but that's not the point. The point is that a mat in the house is better than a woman who does not give birth to a child. Do you see how the woman in Islam is treated and considered? This is what they think about the woman. Now you can show me all how her skin was green, how this was that, and how whatever. You can strike the woman, blah, blah, blah. You are literally saying in this hadith that a mat is better. A mat is better than a woman who does not give birth to a child. Aisha. So if I take away the one who doesn't give birth to a child, I would read this verse and say, a mat in a house is better than Aisha who did not give birth. See how we as Christians are still trying to find justice for Aisha. As Christians, we are saying, nah, Aisha was better than that. The Muslim is going, no way. Ain't no way. She was like, Aisha, man, she didn't give birth. How is it that I am defending Aisha and all women that are unable to have children, no fault of their own, and Muslims are going, yeah, but the mat in the house. Literally saying that these women are like doormats. They're worse than doormats. How does that show that a woman is respected in this religion? Yeah, she's got the right. In Islam, we're talking about women's rights. Yeah, she has the right to be insulted, humiliated, belittled, disgraced. That's Islam for you. So is Islam evil or misunderstood when it comes to the rights of women? So we found out that, sure, it's evil. And same with violence, sure, it's evil. Where are the Muslims to make it make sense? So I've got a guy called Yusuf Fal, and he's saying, are you stupid? Is not right hadith stupid? Read down. Come up, Yusuf. The link is there. Come up, make it make sense. I just read something. If you got an answer for it, man, we are saying, Muslims, help us. Help us understand. Why are we misunderstanding Islam? Have we misunderstood Islam, bro? That's the topic. Is it evil, or have we just misunderstood Islam? The request is, if you go to look at the chat, you'll see on the top of the chat, it's pinned on the top there. It says the Agents 007. You click on that. You don't even need a YouTube. You just join in. So this is another example, guys. All you women that want to go to Islam, or you considering Islam, imagine saying to your sister or your aunt or your own daughter, when she can't have a child, and you go, yeah, but you know, the mat in the house is better than you since you cannot have children. How in the world do you say something that sick and evil to someone? So that's 2 down. We're now 2 down. So violence, yes, it's evil. Comes to woman, yes, it's evil. Jay, do you have anything that you think is more evil than a mat in the house?
I can't think of it.
Because I mean, I'm
A
sure
man in
there's,
a house.
I'm sure there's many people that have many hadiths, right? Many people with many hadiths, and many people think that, you know, theirs is probably worse than the next one, or there's another one that comes up. But for me, this one, it just touched home. Not that I don't have any children, or my wife doesn't, or my, you know, people I know. I do have a friend that had no children but were able to adopt in spite of Islam. So
That's the double whammy, right? They don't even allow adoption on top of that.
yeah, can
So
you
if
imagine
you
that?
can't, and listen, many a times it's the man's fault that the woman doesn't get pregnant because, you know, his bullets are blank, so as to speak, right? So it's not even her fault. So if Muhammad says it says in the Quran, everything he says is a revelation from Allah. He's saying it on behalf of Allah, or it's up Allah's approval. Then Allah should know that many a times a woman doesn't get pregnant because it's not the man's fault. Sorry, it's not the woman's fault. It's the man's fault.
But
Yeah.
nothing in Islam is the man's fault. It's always the woman's fault. So again, notice now, guys. Notice now. No Muslim has been able to come up and defend this or make it make sense. But remember what the Quran teaches, or Islam teaches. Silence is consent. So far, they are agreeing with us. They're saying, yes, Islam is evil. It's not misunderstood. You've got it down. But when you make a mistake, we'll request and try to make it make sense. So we've done 2 so far. The next one would be slavery. Slavery. Does Islam promote slavery? Is slavery evil? Or is it, you know, we just misunderstand the idea of slavery? The verse that I would go to would be the verse that I keep running to, which is 4:24. Surah 4:24. Now, 4:24, as I've said before, that verse tells you not only is adultery permissible, the verse doesn't just say adultery is, but it also says fornication, slavery, and let me take you there. 4:24. And it says, forbidden are married women unless they are captives. So you can go to war with people. 9:123 says that you can initiate the war. So you can initiate war with people. You can take captives. You unalive the men, and then you take these women as dingy slaves. Right? I'm sorry. Let me show it on the screen. Where am I? Let me see. I can just put on this YouTube, TikTok as well. Not going to move the camera too much because it takes away from. But the whole point is, so the verse says that that married women are forbidden unless. Now there's the word that makes all the sense. unless they are captives. Such is the decree of Allah. So now this is a decree coming from no one other than Allah, allowing this from Allah. Then it says, lawful for you men, for you are women besides these, if you seek them with your wealth for wedlock. Now this verse teaches that mutta, paying for dingy is allowed. It's telling you that in this verse you can also have slaves, own slaves, sleep with slaves. It tells you that adultery, fornication allowed, all in one verse. And then it says, lawful for you are women besides these. So you got all these women. Then he's like, well, besides these, I'll give you even more. You seek with them your wealth for wedlock and not debauchery. Then give those women you have enjoyed the agreed dower. So it's basically saying that after you dingy these women, you can give them their wages, pay them. For what? Because you enjoyed them. Such wives is your temporary marriage, which is muta. So according to this verse, it tells you prostitution is allowed, muta. Marrying women that are already married or slaves, capturing, taking, sleeping, all of this in one verse. And it says, it is no fault in you in your agreeing together. So it's like, it's okay. You made a plan, you made an agreement, it's all good. After due appropriation, after due mutual consent, having settled the dowry. And then what? God is all knowing and all wise. MashaAllah. Now, in this verse, we can see that when we go to the tafsir of this verse, it tells us who is being taken. It says, lawful for you are, hang on a second. It says, and forbidden for you are the wedded women, those whose spouses that you should marry before them, they have left their spouses, be it Muslim, free woman or not. Save your rights to captured slave girls whom you may have dingy with. Ibn Kathir goes on to explain it. He says, except those you acquire through war, for you are allowed such women after making sure they're not pregnant. Now we've got the guy, Abu Sa'id Khudri. He actually goes up and says, hang on a second, guys. He said, we captured some women from the area of the Autas who were already married, and we disliked having dingy with them because they already had husbands. What do you call it when you sleep with someone that's married? Allah says, ooh, I call this fun times. Woohoo! So in this verse, it's teaching that not only can you keep them as slaves, but you can also grape them. That's right. You think this is just adultery? No, this is grape. You think that a woman who has a husband that's been taken captive gets all nice and nice, ready for the man, because now she decides, oh, I think I'll just sleep with this dude. He just unalived my family, but my husband's, kept in the room next door. That turns me on. Woo! So you see, the one verse that teaches grape, adultery, fornication, slavery, mutta, all of these things in one verse. How sweet it is to be loved by you. This is the God of Islam. This is what Islam proposes that the Muslim men do when they take the slaves. So now we can see that violence is evil. We can see that the woman and their rights is evil. We can see that in Islam, slavery is evil. I haven't misunderstood, because no Muslim has said that maybe I misunderstood this so far. No Muslim has come up and said, you misunderstood this because I can explain it. Then we go to the next one. The next one is the marriage and the age. Truth Speaker says it is misunderstood. I can explain it, and yet he doesn't request to explain it. So Truth Seeker, by you saying you can explain it and then sitting down quietly behind your keyboard, keeping quiet, come on, man. This is sick and evil. So far, all I've seen from Islam is not me misunderstanding. It's evil. Evil. Next verse. Next word is marriage. If we're looking at marriage in Islam, now for those that know, the word nikah does not mean marriage. Nikah just literally means to penetrate, to dingy. That's all, man. So I'm just I'm going to just read this, what I found for the word nikah. So nikah, primary meaning, nikah signifying the legal binding marriage contract in Islamic law, ensuring sexual relations and law are lawful rather than zina. Then it says, some interpretations also use the term to refer to the act of intimacy, the dingy. And then it says the literally contextual usage, while some define it technically as the contract, the word can sometimes be used to denote the act of intimacy itself or the consummation of marriage. Then there's the word called consummation. Once the nikah is performed, intimacy is permissible. So you agree? We're going to do nikah. It's not marry, it's to do the dingy. Now that's just a quick search on nikah and its true meaning. What does it mean? Nikah basically says it's the sexual consummation. So My Islam says the word nikah means contract of marriage, or according to some scholars, sexual intercourse. That's what nikah means. So when the Muslims are talking about nikah and whatever, and this is coming from the site called My Islam. My Islam. And I'm sure that was written by...
May or may not include.
Say again?
May or may not include. I said may or may not include blowing into one's garment, aka farja. Just want to say it for the record.
Let me just pin this for you, LA. So again, notice that I'm going to read what it says, and this is a quick summary. I'll actually put on the screen for you guys. Let me see. I'll just read it. The word nikah means contract or marriage, or according to some scholars, sexual intercourse. This word can also mean to join or to gather in Islamic Sharia. So this is, as clear as day, that that's what it actually means. Now, when it comes to the topic that we talked about, the marriage that was contracted between, for example, Muhammad and Aisha, is when they say they did the nikah, that's right. They did the deed. And not only that, we go to the Quran itself. Now, for those that don't like going to the Quran, that's unfortunate for you. But the Quran, again, is teaching us whether we look at Islam as a religion that is evil or whether the religion is just misunderstood. And so far, no Muslim has come up and said, you misunderstood, man. You misunderstood Islam. You misunderstood. And just as a joke, if you guys look at the screen, when you see Islam, who is the Lamb? That's Jesus. So you see, Islam is pointing to the Lamb. Who is the Lamb? Jesus. Why would you take a religion where the main mosque is called haram? You see how Islam points to Christ, guys? Always pointing to Jesus, man. Always pointing to Jesus. Islam is haram. So the next one we're going to, so we've done violence, we've done women's rights, we've done slavery. The next one is talking about the marriage age. And we're going to go to the Quran in 65:4 to see if we misunderstood again. Because so far, I don't know, man. Don't know. I'm just saying, I'm giving everyone a chance to read it and see it for themselves. We've seen what violence looks like. We've seen what women's rights look like. We know what slavery entails. Now we're on marriage. If we're looking at the marriage or in Islam and in Surah 65:4, it's crazy because it seems as if, again, either we misunderstood or the Muslims misunderstood. One of us did. And when we read the verse, it says clearly, as for your women who have lost hope of menstruation, in that case, in case you have doubt, the prescribed waiting for them is 3 months, as also for those who have not menstruated yet. In the third group, and those who are pregnant, their prescribed period is until they deliver the child or their burden. Notice again, I'm going again to the Quran first to get the information. I read the Quran, so I'm not misrepresenting it. I'm putting it on the screen so that you guys can see that I'm not lying about the verse, and together we're going to come to a conclusion. Now it's talking about those that have not yet menstruated. Now, for anyone with common sense and a wee bit of gray matter in their heads, they would think twice about thinking that this is an adult, because it's talking about those who have not menstruated. Now, if we go to the root word of the verse and we read about the word itself, it says that it's talking about, hang on a second, let me go there. And then it says, and ones who lam. See there? Lam. Lam means never had, not yet, never had. They did not touch it yet. Lam yahidna, have never reached the years of their menstruation, never had their menstruation. Lam. So when we go to the root of the verse itself, it's telling us clearly that these are young girls that have never had their period. Now, if you think that's enough, no, it's not. All we got to do then is also go to tafsir. The tafsirs confirm it's talking about girls that are too young because of young age, that have not reached menstruation yet. And again, we can see Jalalain confirms it's talking about those that have not yet reached the years of menstruation because of young age. Ibn Kathir says as well, the same for the young who have not reached their menstruation. So each of these three hadith tafsirs we've gone to is confirming that these girls are so young that they've not reached the years of menstruation. But the thing that sickens, that's most sickening, is this. This is the most sickening, that we are talking about girls that are going to be divorced. And these girls that are being divorced have not yet reached the years of menstruation. That's who we're talking about. So they're being divorced and they're waiting, and then they're going to be remarried and then divorced, and it goes on in this vicious circle because they have not yet reached the years of menstruation. And we know that these girls have had dingy dingy because in Surah 33:49, let's go there. In Surah 33:49, it teaches us that if you have not touched them, if you've had no dingy dingy with them before touching them, if there's no contact with them, then there's no 3-month waiting period. If there's no 3-month waiting period, it means you have not touched them. So there's no need to wait to see if they're pregnant because they have not been touched. That's Surah 33:49. 33:49. So far, the age when we come to the topic again now. Is it evil or misunderstood? Have we misunderstood Islam? Or is it just pure evil? 65:4 is telling us clearly that you can penetrate children. The question is that evil? I had a guy on Friday say that he would do it with a girl as young as 6, not 5. 6 was his limit. He's like, nah, I'll do 6, but 5 and below, man, that's not for me. But he settled at 6. I mean, even he had a limit. Believe it or not, the guy had a limit. So as you guys can see so far, by just reading what we have through Islam, is Islam evil or misunderstood? So far when it looks at the violence in Islam, yes, it's evil. The woman's right in Islam, yes, it's evil. Slavery in Islam, yes, it's evil. The marriage to children, definitely evil. If there's any Muslim that wants to request to make us understand that we made a mistake, we misunderstood, and you want to make Islam good as opposed to evil, because according to Jay, the opposite of good is evil, which means that the opposite of evil would be good. Can you show us the good in the violence, the woman's rights, the slavery, and the marriage so far? And for those of you that are sitting in the back, the Muslims sitting in the back listening to this, and you guys are okay with this so far, you are saying that you are okay with evil, then my question to you would be, who is the one that gives us evil? Who is the one that gives us evil that you are following? Satan would be the one that normally would step up and give you evil. But you guys are going, no, that's just the God of Islam. Let's move to the next one, extremism. Got to keep yourself hydrated, people.
Hey, I got to jump on a call for about 20 minutes. I'll be back in a little bit, but I got to take this call here.
No worries, dude. You take care. God bless.
Thank you for having me, brother. God bless.
So you guys notice now that the Muslims are quiet about it, right? They're quiet. They're sitting down. They're just nodding. They're going, yeah, man, it's evil, but that's just how it is. That's just how it is. That's just the God of Islam. Because he says it, it has to be true. Because he said it, it has to be true. Let's go to the next one. Extremism. When we're looking at extremism, my question would be, what in the world would make Islam extreme? Is it extreme or not? The extremists that we have in the world today, what are they using to make themselves extreme? What books do they have? What are they using? And why are they claiming that extremism doesn't really exist and these people are just behaving like that because that's just how they are? If that's just how they are, who is the one teaching them that this is the way to go? What books are they reading to tell them that this is how to be an extremist? So my question to the Muslims then would be, what books are the extremists using to make them extreme? Most of them are using the same book that you Muslims are using, but you are saying that the verses exist, but these guys are just taking it out of context. When it came to the above that, we see violence. When we look at the violence in the Quran, if an extremist is reading the Quran and it says, fight them until the last day, fight them until everyone believes in Islam and Allah, are they wrong for continuing in their journey with Allah and obeying what the Quran has taught? Are they wrong? Or are you just a weak one? Are you just ignoring that because you're living a good life under the white man in a Western land? You see? You guys are so desperate for the benefits that you get from under the Christian rule that you are staying under the white man's rule, not trying to find some country that you would consider extremist, while at the same time knowing that the book they use is the same book you claim comes from Allah. So I could take you back to Surah 929, Surah 9:5, Surah 9:123, where it tells you, in fact, let me do that because we're talking about extremism. Let's go to Surah 9 and let's go to Surah 9:123 and see what it says and see who the one is, who it's talking about when it talks about pushing to assert yourself, pushing to promote the religion. Let's just see again if it's me, whether I misunderstood or whether the Muslims have just stopped reading their books. Because so far, this is number 5 of the pictures that I have on the screen pointing to a God that so far teaches more evil than anything else. So 9:123 says, O believers, fight the unbelievers around you and let them realize that you are firm. Another translation is, and let them find in you harshness. Another translation, and let them find harshness in you. And let them find sternness in you. Let them find harshness in you. Let them find harshness in you. Let them find firmness in you. Now these are your neighbors, because it says, fight those disbelievers who are near you. Who are the ones that are near you? These are like your neighbors. So it's not saying defend yourselves. No, it's saying fight those who are near you. So far we've seen 5 out of the on the 8 that we've got are evil coming from the God of Islam, proving that Islam just has to be evil. It has to be, because I mean, let's face it. Do you guys see any love or any good in the verses that we've just gone through? No. But let's look at the tafsir of this. The tafsir again. We did this with yesterday with the Word and I. And it goes on when it talks about how you fight them. You fight them. And who's it talking about? Talking about the people of the book. It's talking about the Christians. So if you are going to them and you are fighting them, you attacking them, they've got to defend themselves. And then you guys walk around going, oh, we did a good job in the name of Allah. Takbir. So when you start fighting the people of the scripture, who were Romans, these are Romans, and apparently these were cross worshippers. More questions come up. If these are cross worshippers, these are Romans, cross worshippers, then why would they be looking at a cross and worshipping that cross? What happened there on that cross for them to worship it? So when these people go around from town to town, city to city, and they are using their power, they're using their strength, they're using the T word to win over people or win Islam, make Islam the winning religion. This is again the extremism of a religion that's forcing people into believing, while at the same time the Quran and the idiots will say, oh, but Islam teaches you your religion, and to me my religion. So far again, look at the screen, guys. Violence is evil coming from Allah. Women's rights, evil coming from Allah. Slavery, evil coming from Allah. Marrying a child, evil coming from Allah. The extremism, evil coming from Allah. All of the things we've gone through so far are evil coming from the same God. Now, when you do something evil, you're taking people away from truth. And we can see clearly that if you're taking people away from truth, then you're taking them into darkness, which leads to hellfire. Then you've got the amazing science in Islam. Science in Islam. Let's go straight to Surah 1886. Am I right? 1886. Am I right? 1886. Ah, the wise one. The wise one. Now, we're going to see if this is a true story or another fair bit of rubbish that came from the God of Islam. This verse, 1886, says, when he reached the setting sun, he found it setting in muddy water. Talking about a guy called Dhul Qarnain. He found it setting in muddy water. Now, you think that this isn't just, some conversation with people in the Quran, and Allah did not say that. But hang on a second. If Allah didn't say that, right, Allah doesn't say this, let's see if Muhammad thinks that this is true. Let's see if Muhammad thinks that this is true, because he says it in a hadith. Do you know where the sun sets? Let me see. Sun sets. Let's see. Muhammad talking to them. Let me just see if I can find it. Let me see, I think. Let me see. Let me just write the word donkey, because once you write the word donkey, everything works out perfectly. So I was sitting, there we go. You see that? I just wrote the word donkey and Islam came to light. So let me share this with you guys and show you to see whether this is a lie, whether this was just something else, whether Muhammad gets it right, whether the Quran gets it wrong. Let's see. Oh, wise one, Muhammad, what do you think about where does the sun set? So I was sitting behind the messenger of Allah who was riding a donkey. Now, guys, I want to just say this. The only reason that they keep mentioning the word donkey and Muhammad is because they tried to put Muhammad on a donkey like how Jesus rode a donkey, humbling himself and showing that he comes as he was. So they tried to steal that and put Muhammad on a donkey. The messenger of Allah said, he said he was riding a donkey while the sun was setting. He asked, do you know where this sets? Now again, he's not saying, let me tell you what the metaphor means. No, he says to the dude, Abu Dar, my man, how you doing back there, man? And Abu Dar was holding on tightly. He was holding on tightly in case he fell off. So he was, huddling. He was getting close. He's like, what do you say? What do you say, O Prophet? And Muhammad's like, man, do you know where the sun sets? And then Abu Dar was like, nah, man, only Allah and his apostle know best. But you want to tell me where the sun sets? Muhammad said, it sets in a spring of warm water. Now again, he doesn't say, well, in the Quran, Dhul Qarnain says this, but it's a metaphor. Let me explain it to you. No, he doesn't. He says, the sun sets in muddy water. That's right. The sun sets in muddy water. Now, the sun is 1 million times larger than the earth. What water does it set in? You'd have to be a desert dweller, someone that has zero intellect, someone that's really, just I'm not going to use the word, but to be a dimwit would be a perfect explanation. Someone that knows nothing that you can manipulate, that would be perfect. So scientifically, Muhammad is saying, no, it's okay. He's saying to the guy, you think that it's a miracle and that science is true when you think about a woman having breasticles, and you think a woman has sperm, and you think that the semen is between the rib cage and the backbone. You think that's a miracle. You think it's a miracle that Allah created the world in 6 days, in 8 days, in 2 days, in 4 days. You think that's a miracle. You think that because I am called the first Muslim, that's a miracle, even though Moses was a miracle. He says, let me show you a true miracle, man. The sun that be setting in a pool of water. Now, there's others that say that the sun actually, prostrates to Allah, waits for permission under the throne to know it can come up again. A flat earther would accept that because the flat earther would believe that the sun disappears because the earth is flat. Now, Muhammad wants you to believe that scientifically the sun would go into a pool or puddle of water and then come up again later. Now, only a Muslim would believe that. Only a Muslim would believe that. Because you and I know that that's absolute pure nonsense. Nonsense. Violence, evil. Women's rights, evil. Slavery, evil. Marriage, evil. Extremism, evil. Science. The reason science is evil is forcing you to dumb yourselves down to believe something that you know is absolute nonsense. Evil, because it's not good. It's a lie. And if it's a lie, it's evil. Now, medieval rules. When I say medieval, I'm looking at superstition. I'm looking at how superstitious Muhammad was, how he was believing in absolutely anything and everything. This dude was so superstitious, it was crazy. It was honestly crazy that Muhammad was that superstitious. So let me read you some of the superstitions that Muhammad had. Muhammad, for example, the superstitions would be believing that Allah created a pen first. That Allah, he said, I heard the messenger of Allah saying, verily, the first of what Allah created was the pen, and he said to it, write, so it wrote what will be forever. He didn't create the book. There was nothing to write on. What did he create for the pen to write on? What did he create for the pen to write on? Was it a rock? Was the rock already there? What did he write on, people? What did Muhammad write and Allah write on if he created the pen first? Let me read you another one. The Prophet said, Allah likes sneezing and dislikes yawning. So if someone sneezes and then praises Allah, then it is obligatory on every Muslim who heard him to say, may Allah be merciful to you. But as regards yawning, it's from Satan. Satan. So one must try one's best to stop it. If one says, while yawning, Satan will laugh at him. Satan will laugh at him if he goes, ah. Let's read another one. When one of you yawns, he should keep his mouth shut with the help of his hand, for it is the devil that enters therein. This is like Happy Friday. That's now imagine this now. This nonsense, absolute superstitious BS, Muhammad is passing on to his people, saying, this is from Allah. This is the wisdom of the God of Islam. This is what he teaches. Doesn't stop there. Sahih Bukhari says, a person was mentioned before the Prophet, and he was told that he had kept on sleeping till morning and had not gotten up for the prayer. The Prophet said, Satan urinates in his ear. There's another one that when someone is sick and they have a fever, in Sahih Bukhari, Muhammad said, fever is from the heat of hell. Now, only a Muslim would be able to make that make sense, but unfortunately, the Muslims are not playing games with us today. They're hiding, and again, silence is consent. Silence is consent. Let me pin that too. Another one would be, the Prophet said, when you hear the crowing of cocks, ask for Allah's blessings, for their crowing indicates that they have seen an angel. And when you hear the braying of donkeys, seek refuge with Allah from Satan, for their braying indicates that they have seen Satan. Now, again, this is the wisdom of Islam. This is showing you that it's not just medieval BS, but he's making this the rule. It's not the exception. He's making this the law, the rule, telling you that if you see a cock crowing, guess what? The angels are about. Now, I would suggest you guys don't buy any donkeys. By not buying the donkeys, it just means that the devils are not about. And if you think that's enough, no, it goes on. It says the crying of a child starts when Satan begins to prick him. The crying of a child. That's right. Shubahat. That's right. So again, these are stories, fables, fairy tales, rubbish, medieval nonsense that you'd say to people when you just, I mean, who in the world will believe this nonsense? I'll read one more for you. Qudri reported, we were going with Allah's messenger as we reached a place called Arj, and they met us. We met a poet who had been reciting poetry. Thereupon Allah's messenger said, catch the Satan or detain the Satan, for filling the belly of a man with pus is better than stuffing his brain with poetry. Stuffing his brain with poetry is so bad that you might as well have a gut full of pus. And then, of course, I'll just read another one where Muhammad blames the stomach for being a liar. Sahih Bukhari says, the Prophet said, let him drink honey. The man again came and said, I made him drink honey, but that made him worse. The Prophet said, Allah has said the truth, and the abdomen of your brother has told a lie. So Muhammad got caught out for being a liar, and then he goes, well, Allah told me this, and your brother's stomach is a liar. Nah, 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 nah. So that was just an example of how Muhammad was using all of these lies and fairy tales and rubbish to convince these people that this is true. And these people were so gullible because, again, I'm not sure this is hadiths and Islam is a lie. So, but the people are so desperate into finding out whether this is true or not, or they're not. And when he finally gets called out saying, hey, listen, man, you said take honey. The honey made him worse. Muhammad's like, no, the honey didn't make him worse. Allah said that your stomach is a liar. So the medieval rules, the medieval practices, the the desert dwelling, brain dead people that had no common sense, had nothing, they had zero, came to Muhammad, and this is the wisdom he gave them. This is the wisdom of Islam. The wisdom of Islam. Then moving on, let me see if I can just find the last one when we're looking at, where did that come from? Let me just see. The last one is called, what did I write there? Victorious. Okay, so the last one we're on to now is the T word. The T word looking at Islam again, the T word. And again, guys, please notice that I'm providing evidence for all of the things that we just talked about. And each of these, no Muslim has been able to come up and say that's not true or that's not evil. No Muslim, and I can see that they're popping in the live, they are commenting on the YouTube and the TikTok, and yet they're all quiet about it because they know that if they come up and try to defend this and then lose at defending it, then it's pointing to this being evil. So let's see, the last one was the T word. The T word. Now, Mishkat al-Mazbi says, I have been given the words concise but comprehensive. I have been helped by the T word in the hearts of the enemies. Spoils have been made lawful unto me, and I have been whatever. This is Muhammad talking. That he was made what? I have been helped by what? This is Muhammad saying, I have been commissioned with the words and are concise but comprehensive in meaning. I have been helped by what? Who is the one that helped Muhammad use the T word, to become victorious? So now we can see that Muhammad himself was helped by the God of Islam, Allah, and it was because of that, I have been helped by the T word, and I have been given the words concise. This is all Sahih. And he put what? The T into these people. He terrorized them. All of these hadiths are confirming that this is how he became victorious. So, looking at the topic again, the topic was quite simple. Is Islam evil? Is Islam evil or misunderstood? And we can see clear as day that everything about this religion, everything, I made it just a quick, quick little, what is it? 8 things about Islam that I was hoping Muslims would come up and talk about. But it seems as if these 8 things that we just discussed, that no Muslim wants to make it make sense, is proving that none of you should walk towards evil. That all of you should run from the evil that Islam is forcing upon the people of the world. So my question to you guys would be, this would be now again, I need you guys to engage, both YouTube and TikTok. Which one of these is the most evil? Which one of these is the most evil? Is it the violence, the woman's rights, the slavery, the age of marriage, extremism, the science, we'll call it the superstition or the medieval rules, or the T word? Which one of these to you guys, which one do you guys think is the most evil? Built for Speed says all of it. That would mean Islam. That's a true question there, Jay. Is it even possible to rate how evil they are? That's a fair question, because they are so evil, each of them in their own way. And again, I tried, as I said to you guys, my mind works differently. Sometimes I sit down and I try to find, like Amin, when Amin used to come on the live and he used to pretend to give us the answers as what a Muslim would say. And he would say, oh, the Muslim would say this and the Muslim would say that. I used to get frustrated with him because I don't want him to give away what the Muslim will say. But now I understand. I mean, I understood what he was getting at. I just wanted them to say it. But now that he says it, now when I make a topic or create a topic, I have to actually ask myself in the topic, what would the Muslim answer? Now, I don't have all the answers for these questions. I don't. But if my question is, each of these things that we just spoke about, each of them coming from Islam is evil, and the Muslims can't make it not evil. So let's go through it one more time. In Islam, the violence, is not good, and the opposite of good is evil. So it's evil. The woman's rights, we saw, not good, evil. And the verse we went to was the one where it says, the mat in the house is better than a woman that does not give birth. Another one would be the slavery. Again, evil. And the Quran teaches in the verse 424 that graping is coming from Allah. Graping is from Allah. Adultery is from Allah. Fornication is from Allah. Mutta is from Allah. The paying for the dingy is from Allah. The slavery is from Allah. All of these things are evil. Then we went to the age of marriage. Again, evil, because the Quran teaches that you can marry and penetrate prepubescent. The extremism, where do the people get the information from to be extremists? The same book, the same Quran. So I've got a guy requesting Al
What's up,
Kahid.
bro?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Why you say we are evil, brother?
No, the question is Islam evil or misunderstood? And I've gone through, if you look at the screen, I've gone through all 8 of the different aspects. And would you agree that something that's evil is not good?
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay. Is violence something good or evil?
It's evil.
Beautiful. Does Allah teach violence in the Quran?
Nope.
Okay, so let's go and see in the Quran if it's true or not.
Chapter 9, verse 28, 29, 31. That one?
No, we can go to 9:123.
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
Can you read it for me so that you don't misunderstand it?
Well, I don't understand, but the verse is talking about people who try to insult us. We have self-defense, so we cannot defend ourselves.
So let's see if that's true. Now, this is what, guys, remember what we read, right? Remember what we read when we went to the verse 9:123. He's saying, talking about defending themselves. Let's
Yes.
watch and see if this is talking about defending or attacking. Okay, so I'm going to put it on the screen
Okay.
for you. Hang on a second, brother.
Alright.
It's going to be on the
After
screen.
that, can we talk about life in Georgia in the Bible?
We can go wherever you want after that.
Yeah, so we're going to the most deeper. Well, go ahead. So
No worries. So
all
you,
believers
so
fight
you,
the
hang on a
unbelievers.
second. Please stop for a second and listen. So you are saying
Okay.
that you would rather go to the Bible and prove that the Bible teaches that you can unalive children when the Quran is proving that you can unalive children.
There's no show me. I challenge to show me one verse that we allowed to unalive children. There's
Beautiful.
no verse.
Oh, I will get there. We'll see. Right? Watch.
Alright, let's see.
Shh. Let's go slowly because you're Muslim. So it says in 9:123.
Now, I'm
it
the
says,
original Christian, actually. I'm the original Christian.
only you make that make sense to your brain, right?
I mean, the Bible says that I'm the original Christian, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So try not to confuse yourself. I mean, you got enough on your plate right now. Try not to confuse yourself. Let's read.
I will show you why I'm the original Christian, but go ahead.
We'll
Let's-
see.
let's- let's
My
talk about
man,
this
my
one.
man. Slow down. We got all the time in the world for you now. According to what you just said, according to the Quran, it says, "O believers, fight the unbelievers around you." Can you tell me, is this in self-defense or in aggression?
If you read the verse and
We're going to read the whole verse and we're going to go to the tafsir. So when it says, "O believers, fight the unbelievers around you and let them
Yep.
realize that you are firm," which is actually harshness. Let them find in you harshness and know that God
Okay.
is with the God-fearing. Okay? So it says, "O believers," who's the believers?
Jesus, me, all of us.
Okay, Jesus too. Beautiful. So it says,
Yep.
"O believers, fight the unbelievers." Who's the unbelievers?
It can be the pagan, it can be anybody.
Beautiful.
A
So you can
Christian,
fight
because-
anybody, right? Now let's go and see what the
No.
tafsirs teach. Let's go slowly
The
now.
Quran don't call you disbelievers.
Let's see.
You call yourself that.
Okay, let's see. So the Quran, am I a believer or a disbeliever?
You know, you disbelieve yourself.
Okay, I'm not sure
No,
what
go
that's
ahead, read
supposed to mean. Listen again. Do you consider me to be a believer or a disbeliever?
I consider yourself you're disbelievers.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you're a disbeliever. Yep.
Beautiful.
Go ahead.
So now let's read slowly, right? So the order of jihad against the disbelievers. The order of jihad. What does this mean? What does the order of jihad mean?
the order of jihad against the disbeliever, because the jihad, know what the jihad mean, right?
I don't know what you just said. I'm asking you, what does this mean? What does the jihad mean?
To pay the tax they're supposed to pay, right?
That's jizya.
Jizya, yeah.
I said jihad. Can you see the screen or not? Do you know the religion of Islam?
I know the religious more than you, yep.
I can see
But
that.
you're the
You
older
thought that this
person.
is talking about jizya, you numpty. I said the order of jihad against the disbelievers. Can you tell everybody first, what's the difference between jihad and jizya?
Oh no, not Greek in here. I don't need the tafsir on this,
Did you
brother.
get tickled? Did Satan
You say
visit
what?
you? Is he in your nose, peeing in your ear? I don't know what you're doing. I'm asking you, what's the difference between jihad and jizya?
Just jihad and jizya is like the jihad mean in fight in the case of Allah, jizya the same thing, the pay the taxes.
So it's not the same thing, it's different, right?
Yeah, you're
Beautiful. So then I'm right again. So 1-0 to me. You made yourself look quite silly, but that's okay. You're here to learn. So it says,
right. Okay, we're gonna see.
the order of jihad against the disbelievers, the closest, then the furthest. Correct? Okay. Allah just said, when you yawn, don't yawn like that. You need, because that Satan will hear you and he'll laugh at you. Don't forget that. So again, Allah commands the believers to fight the disbelievers. Allah commands the
Alright.
believers to fight the disbelievers. Now
Why
again,
they fighting them then? Can you,
I'm trying to
can you get
read,
the
but
context?
again, dude, your
go ahead,
brain
read it.
is not braining right now. So don't go full Muslim with me. Don't just relax and
Alright.
look what it's saying. So it's not saying defend yourselves. Allah commands the believers to fight the disbelievers, the closest
Okay.
in the area to the Islamic State, then the furthest. So it's not saying defend yourself. It's saying that you must fight them the closest first, then go to the furthest. Now let's keep reading and see. This is why the messenger of Allah started fighting the idolaters. Why? Because Allah said to fight them from the closest to the furthest. This is why they were fighting the idolaters, not in self-defense. Right?
Okay.
I know you're laughing at this
Okay.
because you're
I'm
laughing at
laughing
what.
because you read the because if you go back Surah chapter 9 verse 1 is going to give the context. But go ahead.
This is what is this
Why you
talking
fighting them?
about? Again, try again, my
If you
man,
go
my
chapter,
man,
chapter
my
9
man, my
verse 1
man,
through all
my
the way to-
man.
Go ahead.
Again, you're a Muslim. Don't forget that, right? So you need to learn, listen, and learn from those that Allah said, if
How
you
you gonna
don't
teach
know
them from
anything,
the Quran
then
when I'm
go
not
to the
scholar?
people of the book. You came to the right
Not you.
place. Let's keep reading. So Allah is telling us, Allah commands the believers to fight the disbelievers, the closest and then the furthest. It says, this is why. So this is the reason the messenger started fighting the idolaters. Why? Because Allah commands them to fight. Let's keep going.
So why he commanded to fight? I want to
Because they
why?
disbelievers.
No, brother. It's no compulsion in Islam, brother.
Dude, that's abrogated. Are you slow? What are you?
What about if I give you verse that you're not?
It's
you're not
abrogated by
supposed to
Surah
verse?
9:5. Now pay attention. I'm taking you to school day
I'm gonna
today.
show you, bro. Don't worry.
Later.
But go ahead.
Right now you're going to school. Right now, let me show
Okay,
you.
go
Let
ahead.
me show you something.
Oh no, we gotta finish the. Oh my gosh.
See this? See the picture? See, I'm on the big horse. You see you sitting on the little horse. You see where I'm taking you?
Okay,
I'm
beautiful.
taking you to school. So sit down
How
now.
you gonna take me to school
I'm taking
when
you to
you worship
school.
three God?
I'm taking you to school.
When
Don't
you
ask
worship three God, how you
questions
gonna
that
take me
don't
to
ask
school?
questions you're not ready for. Sit quietly in the corner now. Pretend you're a pigeon on the Kaaba. Pay attention. Focus. Focus.
Okay,
So
I'm
then
not
it
gonna
says,
you insulting, but
when
you,
he finished
how do you do
them,
that, brother? You
then
insulting me.
Allah gave him control over Mecca. So what did he do? He finished with them, meaning he fought them, destroyed them, and then he took over Mecca. I know you ran like a coward. And Allah gave him control over Mecca. Now, I don't know why you ran. You can say it's insult. No, I just told you to sit on the pitch like a pigeon on the Kaaba. Don't run. But it goes on. This is the reason why. This is the reason why he was fighting. It has nothing to do with Surah 9:1. It's telling you clearly that Allah commands the believers to fight the disbelievers. That's what Allah commands. And this is why Muhammad was fighting the people. This is why it says there, this is why the messenger of Allah started fighting the idolaters. Why? Because Allah commands the believers to fight the disbelievers. Now that you ran because once again you saw clearly that you were getting cooked. So to save yourself, you flew like the pigeon to the Kaaba as away from the Kaaba. So well done to you. Well done. This is what happens, guys, when Muslims don't know Islam. The guy thought that jihad is jizya. This numpty thought jihad was jizya. And then he says he knows more about Islam than me. Stay away from this cult. Stay away from this nonsense. Stay away from something that will take you rather to evil than to good. Because you guys can see clearly there is no good in this. There's no good. For those that don't know this, I'll continue. But look what it says, guys. When he finished with them, now notice this. This is Allah commanding Muhammad to fight the disbelievers from the closest city to the furthest city, meaning fight your neighbors and then keep moving like they did. This is how Islam spread. And then it's telling us, I'm showing this on the YouTube as well. It's telling us clearly that when he finished with them and Allah gave him control over Mecca, and then it goes on, and Medina, and Tasif, Yemen, Yamama, Hajr, Kaiba, Hadramawat, and the other Arab provinces. All these places done by who? By Allah. He's commanded what? He commanded him to fight the disbelievers, not in self-defense. He didn't ask them to do it in self-defense. And then it goes on.
But by the way, I come back. I want to do this for Greek, man.
You want to what?
I want to do for Greek. I come back because I want to debate. I want to cook you so I can make Greek happy. You
want to cook me so you can make Greek happy.
Greek, you know who Greek is? Greek is one of your the girl right there. I want to make her happy. So go ahead. Go on, can we finish it? Go ahead, man.
Okay, so far, do we agree that Allah commands the Muslims to fight the disbelievers?
Yes, I agree with you. Yes.
Beautiful. So it's not in self-defense; it's in aggression, correct?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's self-defense. I'm gonna show you why it's self-defense. But go ahead.
So show it to me, because so far that means you're going against what the Quran just said.
Okay. Okay, let me see.
So when you fight the people that are close, okay, watch this. The people that are the farthest away from you, have they done anything to you?
No, actually, it wasn't even no war. It didn't even happen no war. But
I didn't ask you that. Try to answer the question I asked, not the one I didn't ask. According to this, if the people are far away from you, have they attacked you?
It's talk about on the people on Muslim Makkah, Marinas, and the other place around the air besides. It's not talk about outside the air besides.
I don't know what the heck that means.
It's talk about those people who live in Islamic country.
Okay, now watch again. Let's see if that's true. Notice this, because when you keep reading, look what it says. Was Yemen a Muslim country?
Yep.
When did it become a Muslim country?
It became a Muslim country at the time of the Prophet ﷺ.
And how did he take Yemen?
Well, they actually become Muslim by themselves. It's not by force.
Dude, you guys are so stupid. You guys are such liars. Liars. Look what it says. It says Allah, and he said he started fighting the idolaters in where? The Arabian Peninsula. When he finished with them, look again. Look again. Allah gave him control over Mecca. And then it goes on. Medina, Taif, Yemen. Yep. When how do you think he was given that? It was handed to him by what? Given a key and going, this is for you?
No, it was given to them because before Islam, it was too much pagan in there, and the pagan there wasn't.
Yeah, in Mecca, Medina, and Muhammad, yes, there was lots of paganism there.
They spread a corruption. They analyze the people. So we tell them either you want to stay out Islamic country or get out of the country.
Okay, let's see if that's true. Let's keep reading and see if it's true, right? I want to show you guys how Muslims behave. Now watch this. And then it says, and other Arab provinces and the various Arab tribes entered Islam in large crowds. He then started fighting the people of the scriptures. The people of the scripture,
Yes.
who are they?
The people of the scripture, those people living on Makkah and Medina, is the Jews and Christians.
Okay, so he was fighting the Christians and the Jews.
It was never being fight, brother. It wasn't fight.
What is this word
He
over
was
here?
just telling
Listen,
them.
dude, watch.
Okay, listen,
Watch.
brother.
No, don't
Okay,
don't call me
okay,
brother.
give it
What
the
is this
answer.
word? What is the word?
Okay,
What is the word?
okay, fighting, okay.
Fighting.
The context.
So hang on.
Okay,
When
give
you
the context.
fighting the people, dude, when you started, it says started fighting the people of scripture. What does it mean to start fighting the people of scripture? What, buy them
We was
coffee?
fighting because we defending ourselves, brother. They was trying to attack us. That's it.
You are
So you can't
commanded.
attack us.
Okay, watch, man. Are you making me lose my patience? Allah commands the believers to fight the disbelievers, correct?
Allah commanded to fight the yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So when Muhammad started fighting the people of scripture, who started it? The people of scripture or the command of Allah?
The people, the scriptures fighting it.
Damas, I'll try one more time. Who was the one that commanded the fighting of the disbelievers?
Brother, they kicked
Who
Muhammad out from
commanded-
Makkah and Medina, and
Who
they accused him,
commanded
and Allah
fighting
ordered them to
the
fight them.
disbelievers?
Okay, Allah ordered them to fight them because they was insulting the prophet.
So what? I insult the prophet every single day. Are you supposed to fight me because of that?
No, I'm talking about at the time 1400.
Well, what about
That's
today?
huge.
If I insult Muhammad today, or not insult him, if I
Today,
repeat,
insult-
if I
if
repeat,
you-
hang on a second, if I repeat what the Muslim scholars said about Muhammad, if I repeat it,
okay,
am I
today,
insulting him?
If you insult Muhammad today, you will go to hell. That's what we believe.
Okay,
We're
so
not gonna
you
fight.
okay, watch this now. So if I insult Allah, I go to hell. If I insult you, do I go to hell?
If you insult me, that's a sin, of course.
Okay, so that's a sin. So if I curse you, is that a sin?
Yes.
And you say anyone that curses anyone else goes to hell?
I mean, it's a sin, right? If you
So when Muhammad curses a little girl, does he go to hell because he cursed a little girl?
who's that?
Muhammad, your prophet,
Cause who?
when he curses
He cursed who?
people, does he go to hell because he cursed people?
I don't think that Muhammad ever cursed anybody.
I will
Show me
show
ever
that. I will
Jesus
show that
cursed.
to you that Muhammad cursed someone, right? I will show that to you. But first, I want to
Like
show
cursing,
you,
like he say something, like he say something
dude.
bad about
I will
them.
show you that he curses people because that's the type of person he was. But
Oh,
before we
after-
move on,
after we know that. No,
before we
not only
move
Muhammad,
on,
even-
we sticking. Are we staying to this? Don't rush.
Yeah,
We-
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
the God
Yes,
of
yes,
Islam,
Allah, okay.
the God of Islam,
No,
co-
Allah ordered
the
to fight
God of
those
Islam
people. I agree with you.
commands Muslims to fight the disbelievers. For
I
that
agree with you. Yes,
reason,
Allah ordered
for
them to
that
fight them.
reason,
Yep.
Muhammad started fighting the people of Scripture because his God commanded him to do that. Now, watch what happens.
Yeah, I agree with
He
you. I
began
agree with you.
preparations to fight the Romans who were closest
Mhm.
in the area of the Arabian Peninsula. Were the Romans attacking him? No, he was preparing to fight them because Allah says to fight them whether they're either closest or the furthest. The Romans
So,
were the
after you done, can I
closest
speak,
in
brother?
the.
I'm gonna let you speak.
You say
after
you're
you
going to
done,
let me
I'ma speak, okay?
speak, and then I start reading for you, and then you interrupt me because you can't do two things at one time. So you tell me, explain this to me before I move on, because again, Islamic logic, make it make sense, sir. Now he's quiet.
Can you say what is it again?
So would you like to explain this so far?
You say when the Romans were the closest in the area to the Arabic opponent, yes, and they one of them with the pagan was insulting the prophet, yes, and we Allah ordered us to fight them. What's wrong
Where
with
do
this?
you see he was insulting the prophet?
Yeah, I got you, but can you? If you give me time, I can give you the answer. But you're not giving time. I'm gonna let you finish. it.
I'm giving you time. I want evidence. Show me
Okay,
that the
fine.
Romans.
Okay,
Be quiet
I
and
got you, I
listen.
got
Listen,
you.
dude, listen. You're not smart enough to speak and listen. So stop talking. Let me ask you the question. Show me the evidence that these Romans that were in the Arabian Peninsula were insulting Muhammad.
Yeah, Surah chapter 9, verse 30. When it say like 30, yeah, when it say like fight the pagan because we know the Roman was pagan. And
No,
those the Christian
hang
and
on,
Muslim.
hang on. In 930, you saying that because
Yeah, I
they
believe so.
insulted, when you insult someone, is that attacking them or just insulting them?
If you go back to chapter 9, verse 10 through 15, you say that if they come, because the pagan, they was coming to the hut while
But
was
he
praying
isn't,
there.
the pagans, the Romans are not coming anywhere. The Romans are closest in the area, so he was preparing to go to them. They didn't come to him.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, but
Either
okay,
way,
blah,
that
blah, blah,
time,
blah. Answer the question.
but
The Romans didn't do aggression. They didn't go to him. He is preparing to go to them, correct?
yes,
Beautiful.
They were attacking the prophet. Yes.
So they must have been,
Well,
they must have been sending up, sending messages or something with pigeons. But let's keep reading. It says, and as
ahead.
such, had the most right to be called to Islam. So he's saying they had the right to be called to Islam, but they didn't, especially since they were the people from the scripture. Can you stop sighing like a muppet over there and try to pay attention? I'm trying to help you read your book and teach you what your Islam teaches, but you are
That's
sighing
not
because you don't know it.
The tafsir, but okay, go ahead. But the tafsir.
So what?
Oh,
you don't
no,
take
that
tafsir?
Paul in here, brother.
So hang on, you don't take
Paul,
tafsir?
Paul, can you
Can you
educate
shut
brother
your mouth,
here?
man? Shut up and answer the question, you muppet. Do you take tafsir or don't you?
Of course, I take the tafsir, of course.
Beautiful. So now we're reading the tafsir and it's explaining that Muhammad was going to attack the Romans who had nothing to do with him. Then it says the prophet marched until he reached Tabuk, meaning he was going to them. He was marching till he went to Tabuk, and he went back because of extreme hardship, little rain and supplies. So who is the one that went looking for trouble? Who went looking for trouble?
It's a war. The time of Tabuk, it was a war. It's going on. Yep.
Who went looking for trouble? Did the Romans come to Muhammad or did Muhammad go to the Romans?
No, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was fighting those people.
Beautiful. So he went looking for trouble.
They were all working together.
So he,
Right.
Muhammad, went looking for trouble. The Romans didn't come to him. Now we'll read some more.
Okay, can you please?
We'll read some more. We'll read some more.
Okay.
This battle occurred in the 9th year after Hijrah. In the 10th year, the Messenger of Allah was busy with his farewell Hajj. The Messenger died 81 days after he returned from the Hajj, and Allah chose him for what he had prepared for him in paradise. So far we can see that we are talking about Muhammad the aggressor. But look what it says. After his death, his executive friend, blah, 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 Allah be pleased with him, at that time the religion came under attack and would have been defeated if it not had been for the fact that Allah gave the religion firmness. Just be firm with your neighbors through Abu Bakr, who established its basis and made its foundations firm. He brought those who strayed back from the religion back to it. So people left Islam, but because of force, they forced them back into the religion through firmness. And look what it says, and made those who reverted from Islam return. So they didn't have a choice. They were made to return. He took the zakat from the evil people who did not want to pay it and explained the truth to those who were unaware of it on behalf of the Prophet. Abu Bakr, hang on, I'm nearly there. You can explain that in a minute. Abu Bakr delivered what he entrusted with. Then he started preparing the Islamic armies to fight the Roman cross worshippers. So he was the aggressor because Allah commanded the Muslims to fight the disbelievers. So the Romans that were worshipping, the Romans that were minding their own businesses, Abu Bakr was preparing an Islamic army to fight the Roman cross worshippers and the pagan fire worshippers. Were they coming to Abu Bakr or was Abu Bakr going to them?
Okay, I want to ask you why we want to fight the Romans? Why they was fighting the Romans? Did they leave
because they are not Muslim.
Religion?
Because
they was leaving Islam religion and they don't want to pay jizya, and we have to fight them until they pay jizya. That's
okay,
it.
if you don't pay jizya, it means you don't accept the
If you
fake.
don't pay the jizya,
That
you gotta
means
get out.
if you don't pay jizya, it means you don't accept the evil Allah, you don't accept Muhammad, and you don't accept
no.
Islam, correct?
If you don't pay jizya, you have to get out of the country. But they accept to pay jizya. What's the
So
point
which
in doing
country
that?
are they in now? Which country are they in now? Because remember, Muhammad,
those-
hang
all of
on,
them, all
hang
of
on.
them all become Muslim.
Muhammad went to them. They didn't come to Muhammad. Remember? Muhammad said that he began his preparations to fight the Romans, who are the closest in the Arabian Peninsula. So they didn't live with Muhammad. They were somewhere else, and Muhammad was going to where they were. Abu Bakr went to there where they were.
Islamic country, brother.
How
They
can
was
it be an
living inside
Islamic
Islamic
country? How can it be an Islamic country if Muhammad is going to them?
Because
If Muhammad, watch this, if Muhammad went to Israel, or if Muhammad went to Turkey, and Turkey was not a Muslim country, how can you say that that's a Muslim country?
Turkey is Muslim country, by the way. But anyways,
Today,
so
today it was, but at the time of Muhammad it was Christian.
is an Islamic country.
It was all Christian before Islam.
No, it was pagans all before Islam.
It was all
But anyways,
Christian countries, like Yemen was also pagan, yes, but it was Christian. Same with Mecca, Christian. Same with Medina, Christian, and Jews were there long
No, it was
before the
pagans,
pagan
Muhammad.
Islam came and gave them the pagan idol, the Kaaba, and all the pagan gods. No, this was not before Muhammad. This always existed as paganism in Islam. Muhammad just took the pagans and made it into Islam. Now, that's not my question.
Brother,
I'm
are you
asking
okay, brother?
I'm asking you, according to what we're reading, the Romans were furthest away from Muhammad, and Muhammad was told to go and fight them. But we can see, according to the bottom over here, Abu Bakr, he prepared his armies, prepared his Islamic armies to fight the Romans. Where was he fighting them?
He was fighting them because there was still Islamic soldiers.
Where? Where was he fighting them?
Yemen, it can be Yemen, it can be Syria, or it can be what they call as Medina and Mecca. They all around the area of Islamic, and they was living there, and they cannot stay there the place until they wanna decide to pay the jizya, because otherwise they have to get out of the country because this Islamic soldiers places. That's the hadith. I mean, that's clear.
So you gotta get him to explain this, please. So explain this al-Khid, whatever.
Go ahead.
Explain how is Syria, Jordan, Iraq an Islamic country?
Okay, beautiful. Because like I don't know if your brother understand this thing. So before this, Allah never ordered anybody to fight until those people started attacking Islam, because they was making business in Makkah and Medina, and they don't agree with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
He's called a kid.
Did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard your question. Yes.
Okay, what was my question?
Yeah, your question. How come the Roman? What? Can you repeat again one more time, bro? Because
okay, okay. But let's ask you this directly then: is Syria, Iraq, well, basically the Levant and the northern part of Saudi Arabia, is it an Islamic country? Yes or no?
Before Muhammad sallallahu, it was Islamic country, but they became Islamic.
What? Say that again.
Before the Prophet sallallahu, there was a Muslim.
It was a Muslim country before Muhammad. Is that what you said?
No, it was a Muslim country. It was a Muslim
I don't
country.
understand what he's saying, man.
Let me ask again. Just say yes or no. Was it a Muslim
Understand,
country? Yes or no?
Before Muhammad sallallahu, it was a Muslim country until they accept Islam.
Okay, please, I want to ask again. Again, your English is, I don't understand what you're saying. Listen to the question, answer yes or no. Before Muhammad, was Syria a Muslim country?
No.
Beautiful.
There was a Muslim.
How did they become Muslim?
Wasn't?
How they can become Muslim? Because the message spread, and they don't, like I say, the Quran clearly says there's no compulsion in Islam. They decide to accept Islam.
That's abrogated. Tell me, what does abrogated mean?
There's no somebody that verse that they take it out and they take it out and they make another new one again.
Sorry,
but that's not. Well, show me what's abrogated, brother. I challenge you. Show me that.
Look. Let's
You don't know what it's talking about, brother.
Please. No. Let's stay focus on one thing. So the Levant was or was not a Muslim country?
Before the Prophet ﷺ, there's nobody Muslim in the Middle East
Okay,
or
perfect.
the Arab place. There's no Muslim in there. They're all pagans.
Why the Muslims attacked them?
The Muslim was attacking because Allah told them to fight because they was insulting the Prophet, and the Muslim they was actually kick us out from Makkah and Medina.
The Levant. Again, the Levant. I guarantee you,
He
the
doesn't.
Levant region never been to Mecca. So again, so how did they insult the Prophet?
Because okay, beautiful. When Islam about to take over, the
When Islam about to take over.
no, that's not.
Told you, welcome, man.
The Arabic they started to team up with the pagans and the Christian and the Jews. They started team up with them and include the Roman live in that area, and they tried to fight the Prophet ﷺ. And that's why Allah ordered us to fight those people, to fight to defend yourself. Cause the guy cannot prove it. This is a violence or sex event. He can't even prove it. I can show him chapter 9 from chapter 1 and verse 1 all the way to 29.
No
It's not about sex defense, guys.
Okay, watch this.
I
But
know,
watch,
man.
let me ask
But
him.
someone needs to translate.
Watch, okay, Paul, watch this.
Okay,
A kid,
can I repeat him?
a kid. Listen to my question, please.
Go
How
ahead.
did Syria or Yemen insult Muhammad when they never heard of him and had no connection to him? How did they insult him for him to go and conquer them?
How they can say the only not all of
Was
them
it on
insult only
TV?
the
Did they watch a
king.
movie? Was it like, someone walking around
No,
posting
no.
stuff on internet? How did they
Okay.
insult him?
How? Because when they started how the message of the prophet was playing out and he was starting taking all over, the kings, the leaders over there that time, they don't want this to be over, so they started trying to attack Muhammad because what he was doing.
Hang on, you need to stop there. Let my Google translate, bro.
Come on, guys.
Let my Google translate. My Google is not Googling. Paul, is your Google
man.
Googling?
You wasted my time, man. I just had to go, man. Have a good day, guys. You wasted my time, man.
I have no idea what he's saying, to be honest with you. Nothing. It makes no sense.
Oh my goodness. But he was saying that I was trying to I had to translate, use Google Translate in my brain. But he is saying that even though the order, he couldn't tell the difference between jihad. He didn't know the difference between jihad and jizya. That's the start. And then when I show him Allah commands the believers to fight the disbelievers, he says yes, because of the insults. How in the world were people insulting Muhammad when no one knew who he was? How did the Yemenis, the Syrians, the people in Lebanon, how did these people insult this guy for them to go and attack and convert these people? That's where I was trying to get him to understand. And when it says that they were fighting the Romans and you're told to fight them the closest first and the furthest afterwards, Muhammad is saying that he was preparing, he marched over to go to these Romans. Now, how do they insult him? If I say to you, you're a false prophet, is that an insult enough to go and declare war on people? That just shows you that Islam was spread by the sword. No, it was because, I don't know why he said it, but it was because of the wonderful words of Islam. There was no fighting. They just became Muslim. So they just became Muslim, people. Just like that. They were like, man, these words are wonderful. We heard Muhammad on the loudspeaker all the way in Yemen.
You brought up a good point. Did they broadcast it on TV? This guy.
But how, man? Do they have pigeons? Messenger pigeons. That's message pigeons, sending stuff.
But he slipped. He said when they were about to take over, if their army surrounding, let's say, Damascus, and Damascus is insulting Muhammad, well, you're in a siege. You already sieged them. What caused them to be sieged in the first place? And that, by the way, the siege of Damascus is a real event. And it took a betrayal of someone to open the doors of Damascus to get the Muslims in.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the topic we had today is just, I've gone through each and every one of the things on the screen, the prompts or the pictures. And if you look at what we've discovered just today, and last week we spoke about whether Islam is coming from Satan. The Muslims can't prove that Islam comes, that we can trust Allah, the Prophet Muhammad, according to Muslims, and the Islam. We can't trust these people. Then we said, that Islam came from Satan, and now we can see that Islam is evil. So if you put all this together, we can now clearly see that this religion is the opposite of good. It's really so bad that I pray that every single one of you that watches these lives realizes that Islam can only come from Satan. It takes you away from truth. It takes you away from common sense. I mean, you listen to the guy, he reads the verse. It says clearly on the verse. It says clearly on the verse that you are commanded. Allah commands the believers to fight the disbelievers. He's commanding them. And what happens after that? He's commanded, but then it's like, no, we were attacked first. Then you got Muslima that says Christianity is a copy paste of the Greek and Roman mythology. Yet the stupid woman, again, the half brain, doesn't realize that Islam copies again from the previous scriptures and puts it in the Bible, messing it up even more. So you are saying that your God is the God of the previous scriptures, and the previous scriptures has all this stuff in there? Is mythology? So your God gave us mythology? This is what happens when you stop using your brain, when your brain stops braining, when you are 5%er.
I gotta say, since China declared that Islam is a mental illness, does that make China now, ought to be unalived? All of the Chinamen, billions of people ought to be unalived, according to this guy.
That would be. So me sitting over here talking about Muhammad, then he's saying that, no, this is only during the time of war. So me and you, Paul, we on the wanted list again, because apparently all we've done now is proven to these people that we have called out Muhammad. Now, again, notice, guys, not me, not Paul, not even China. None of us have created something or said something that Islam hasn't given us. Islam says Muhammad was bewitched. We go, okay, we just go and repeat it. We repeat it, Muslims get mad. Islam teaches Muhammad is covered in man semen or semen. We repeat it, Muslims get upset with us. Muslims tell us he was zutted. We repeat it, Muslims get mad with us. Why aren't the Muslims more angry with Islam than with me and Paul? And this dude, and the guy in the chat called Chris Claus. Why in the world would they get mad at us for just repeating what they gave us? And again, if there's anyone ever considering going to Islam or becoming a Muslim, or you're sitting on the fence not knowing whether you should or you shouldn't, you need to request, and I will show you what Islam actually teaches, because again, you can't walk towards evil and expect to get somewhere. Paul, can you run this for a second, bro?
You bet, yeah.
I'm sorry, something happened, right? Muted somewhere? Guys, can you guys hear me? I apologize. I apologize. Can you guys hear me? I should have played a song.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I also had a work call and I had to take it, so I couldn't reject the call.
No, no, you're good. I also, yeah. Unfortunately, I actually tell everyone that I'm busy between these hours, but some people want to join. You know how it goes. I've got two people that want to come up. We've got Fatima and we've got a kid. Fatima,
Alright,
you
but
didn't join.
I'm gonna give him one more chance, brother. So
You want to give one more
Can I
chance?
give you one last?
yeah, one more chance,
to
brother.
compare? Can I give you something to compare?
No. Let's go by the topic again. I want to
Yeah,
give like one more chance.
I'm gonna give you something to compare. Christ said,
Yeah. Go ahead.
bless the one that insults you. Muhammad says, attack the one that insults you, according to you. I don't see something like this, but according to you, according to the way you put it, the Roman insult Muhammad, therefore attack them. Where Christ is saying, bless them. Which one is evil? Which one is good?
Beautiful. So I want to ask something. We all know the Roman, they're actually a pagan, right? So why you gotta bless
Can you
pagans?
please? Oh my gosh. Which one is good? Which one is evil?
The one who's insult, the good one, the one who say bless them. That the good one is.
Okay, and the evil is the one that attacked the one that insulted.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
But
Okay, then good. Islam is evil.
so okay.
Thank you.
So
But
you
let me add
but
to
then-
this. Al-Khed, 1 second. Do you believe the people of the book are pagans?
I don't. The Quran never say you got a question on Jews or pagans.
Okay,
Never say that.
beautiful. So you just said that the Romans are pagans, yet the Romans are considered to be the people of the book.
No, they're not.
Hang on a second. It says over here, it says, he began preparations to fight the Romans, who were the closest in the area to the Arabian Peninsula, and such had the most right to be called Islam, especially since they were from the people of the scriptures.
What surah? What chapter? What verse again?
9:123.
Let me read
And
the
then
rest.
Truth on YouTube, my brother. Please give me 1 minute, and then I really want to. In fact, do me a favor, my man, Al-Qaid. I'm going to drop you for a second because there's a more interesting person I want to talk to. Truth, how are you, sir? You can unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, man. You know, yesterday I was actually thinking about you after our conversation because you were right. It was a nice conversation with someone that is what you were being fair, and I think you and I were having a good from and back and forth. So
Yeah. I definitely think like I know like some of the other conversations with some other people, I can tell it's getting a little heated. So I was glad that ours didn't go like that. But yeah, I did I did look into things a little bit more. I mean, I will say that I didn't get to do all the research I wanted just because it was like 24 hours, and then like right now is Ramadan fasting. I got to go to the mosque after work, so I really didn't have that much time. But I did look at a couple things. Um, I didn't like have one direction that I was trying to go while looking. But like if we could at least talk about some things, maybe if we don't get to some other things, we can talk about it another time because
So tell
I
me,
also I'm
so
still
tell me
stepping away
what.
from work real quick.
No worries, my man. No worries. So tell me, which of all the things we spoke about yesterday did you get a chance to double check,
Okay,
and
so
what did you find out?
I really really looked into the satanic verses more, and I think I understand where the misunderstanding was coming from on your end. For example, I like set the goal for myself. I was like, okay, if I find at least just one authentic source, I will like take that as something to really be skeptical about. I did try, I couldn't. But I understand, like I realized why you were saying it was from Ibn Abbas, and it was like it was honestly it was an easy misunderstanding because a lot of the weak narrators, they're basically saying Ibn Abbas said this, so they were saying Ibn Abbas said this. It wasn't Ibn Abbas saying that. Like I saw Ibn Abbas does have an authentic hadith for that surah, and he doesn't mention that. But I get why it might come off like that because a lot of the narrators um that did provide it, they were saying Ibn Abbas said it. So like it does come off as if he's saying it, but when you really look at it, they're basically saying they heard from Ibn Abbas, and then they never say where Ibn Abbas heard it from or like give the full chain back.
Okay, watch this. Truth, I've got a brother on YouTube. His name is Paul, and
Mhm.
he would love to just engage with you just a little bit when it comes to this.
Okay.
Yeah, truth. Look, I don't deny that the narration now seem to me as weak, or they have called it weak.
Mhm.
But at some point, this was the predominant back into the story, if you will, or the context of the story. So this is what we call a paradigm shift. So imagine that we have a well-known story,
Mhm.
and every muhaddith, every person, every scholar, every contemporaneous to Muhammad would say that this is what it is, and then later on the scholars shifted into saying, well, this is weak, without giving us a good reason why it's weak. Then we have a reason to believe this is a paradigm shift. And so there's a book that actually talks about this. It talks about I can't remember the name of the book right now off the top of my head, but it's something along the lines of the satanic verses before the orthodoxy of Islam, or something along those lines. I'll pull the book while you still respond to this.
Yeah.
I do believe there are hadith or hasan that will support the idea of satanic verses.
So yeah, that's what I couldn't find. Like from my research, I saw that the earliest reports where this even became a thing was from the second generation of Muslims. Like, and this was from the generation that wasn't even there around the time. And then like all the missing links are where there should be people that were actually like around at that time. But I mean, like, yeah, I'll definitely look into the book if you provide it. But um, yeah, so as far as the satanic verses, like I really just can't find anything substantial. Like one thing I do want to mention is
One second,
like,
once before we move on, I just want to say, remember we read the Quran. The Quran said a few times. Once it says that this is not from Satan, and then it also says that Allah will allow the verses to be mentioned. 2252 we went to, right? And in 2252 it says that the verse that we looked at was talking about. Let me go to the verse so I don't mess it up. Because Paul is 100% correct. They're talking about the paradigm shift, how we're now changing what once was true. But look what it says. We have sent no messenger or prophet before thee, that Satan did not tamper with the revelation spoken.
Yeah,
So
so
this is
I did
confirmed.
look into the verse too,
I have
and you know,
One second.
being
One
that
second,
oh,
Bruce. One
sorry.
second, brother. What you say, Paul?
I have the name of the book if you would like.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. Can you type it or something? I don't have anything to write it down right now.
I'll type it for you.
Yeah, type it and put it up on the screen if you don't mind, James. It's called "Before Orthodoxy: The Satanic Verses in Early Islam." 2017, Shahab Ahmed shows that the early Muslims from 632 to 800 CE widely accepted the Satanic Verses incident as historical fact. So after the year 800, that's when they shifted. And this is a historical approach saying it's like projecting backwards and seeing what's wrong with it. And when you get enough scrutiny, you move the pieces around to make it fit and be like, well, yeah, this is, we can just call this as weak. And we can see this in a lot of instances in Islam and the Hadith. There are so many Hadith are being regraded right now, and they're called weak. In fact, Saudi Arabia are on a mission to discredit most of the Hadith today. King
Okay, I mean, I'll
Sulaiman
definitely look
trying
into
his
the book.
best to do that.
I'll definitely look into it after, because I definitely would like to see, like, you know, the sources that it cites and stuff, and I'll give it a look. Where did you guys type the name in the studio chat or the regular chat?
No, I didn't get the book. What is the name of the book?
Oh, okay.
Sure, yeah. Before Orthodoxy,
Okay.
the
before.
Satanic
Okay.
Verses in early Islam. So before Orthodoxy, it's ironic that he's using this terminology, but that's the name.
Okay, I'll definitely look into that.
Satanic Verses.
I do just want to say that I know there was a couple things that I did like really want to talk about. I'm honestly might not have as much time as I'd like, but you know, if I don't know how often you stream or whatever. Like I could, like maybe I could just do it in parts, I guess. But
No, what I'm going to do now? I'm going to show it on the screen. I'm going
Okay.
to on the screen so you can also see it there.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and regarding the verse, like just because of from what I researched about it being around the second generation of Muslims, because I like, you know, if I read the book and I see that the sources do add up and like what you guys said, you know, I'll take that into consideration. But as of right now, since I haven't seen the sources, I don't just want to fully believe it just yet. But like based off of my current belief, the verse is just in general. I wouldn't think it goes with that event just because. Like another important thing I really came to the understanding is that you know, weak hadith or fabricated hadith, like there's no reason I feel like I would be doing something wrong if I ever believed a weak hadith or fabricated hadith, because it's the same way, like, you know, we don't fully, you know, believe in verses of the Bible or the Torah.
Let's give me a second. So on the
Okay.
screen you can see before Orthodoxy.
Okay.
Just double check with Paul that we 100% on the same path. That's the book, right? And then it actually
Yeah, that's
talks.
the book. That's it.
Yeah. So this is by Shahab Ahmed. That you can see that this confirms that yes, this was the consensus, and then later changed because the Muslims were realizing that if there's too much of attention given to the fact that Muhammad was bewitched and was giving us satanic verses, then people would walk away from Islam. And so what they've done, and this is no insult to you, what they've done and still doing today is changing the hadiths and changing the sahihs to da'ifs and da'ifs to sahih, because they're trying to make Islam work. Now, I showed you Al-Tabari yesterday, where Al-Tabari confirmed that Muhammad was speaking the satanic verses, that he said, I fabricated things that Allah didn't say. Now, the thing would be, who is the one that made him fabricate things that Allah didn't say or didn't put on his tongue? The only one would be Satan, because Satan wants you to go away from God, not towards God. So if he was speaking these words that were not from Allah, then it had to come from someone else or something else. So the logical explanation would be that it came from Satan, because he spoke words that enticed or encouraged the
Yeah.
pagans
No,
to
I get that. it's a little hard for me to discuss it like with regarding him saying like he fabricated words and stuff, because my personal belief is that I rejected that hadith. So like I don't even want to like defend it or whatever, because I
That
I
wasn't a
agree with
hadith, that was a tafsir, but you saw it yesterday, right? Did I show it to you?
yeah, I saw in the it was Al-Tabari, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Al-Tabari.
I think, and I had seen in Al-Tabari they were just like stating it as something that was mentioned, but like I think in Al-Tabari too they also said themselves like there's nothing really to back it up. They were just relaying an event that was spoken. Like I do want to look into the book though. I think I probably shouldn't speak more on this till I read the book, because
No, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah,
But again,
because I don't want to like keep saying the same thing and it, like annoy
but
you
we've
guys.
got authentic hadiths that confirm, as we saw earlier, right? We've got authentic hadiths that confirm that Muhammad was bewitched. We
Yeah,
both
I
agree
looked into that one too, because that like the actual hadith was new for me, but the event that it was about I had known about, which was when somebody did black magic on him. But you know, as we believe,
and
there's the
black
verse in the
magic.
Quran that says Allah guards the revelation, and then there's also no other reports of revelation being messed up or anything like that while he was bewitched. It was more like just forgetting. Did he like
Well,
maybe
my
put
question
his
to you
teacup down
yesterday
over
was,
here and there?
how do you know that he didn't give us verses? In fact, not only that, right? So now that we know that, okay, if it's true that he was bewitched, and you said Allah protects those,
Mhm.
how did Muhammad die? Watch this. Just I know you're busy, but watch this. How did Muhammad die?
Um, I believe it was a natural death. I know there was mentions that like, you know, he said that there was a time he had a bit of poison. He said that it still affected him at that time.
Okay.
I
So
know
he
there's
says,
some people. Mhm.
so it says, I'll show the hadith as well, where it actually says that Muhammad, in the ailment from which he died, so the cause of his death was the poisoning, is I'll show it to you now on the screen, where Muhammad says that from the ailment, it says he's talking about Khaybar. He says that he feels the poison that he had at Khaybar was the cause of his death, right? How do you spell ailment? Ailment. There we go. It's on the screen now. So let me show it to you. And then I'm going to show you why
Okay, I still see the okay.
No worries. I'm going to show it to you now. 1 second. Sorry. Now remember now what this hadith says, and I'm going to show you something from the Quran. So over here it says, the Prophet in his ailment in which he died used to say, "O Aisha, I still feel the pain caused by the food I ate at Khaybar, and at that time I feel as if my aorta is being cut from that poison." So the ailment from which he died was the poisoning. So he's talking about what happened to him. Now you said Allah will protect him, yet Allah curses Muhammad. Why did I say curse? Because if I go to the Quran, now remember what it says here. It says that the cause of his death was the poison, and it's talking about him saying, I feel as if my aorta is being cut from that poison. If I go back to the Quran,
Mhm.
and I go to Surah 69, Surah 69, and I start at 44, look what it says, right? It says, had he attributed, now remember, we're talking again about the satanic verses. Allah says, had he, talking about Muhammad, attributed falsely any words to us, if he made up anything about us, we would have seized him by his right hand and then cut his aorta. We just saw a hadith where Muhammad said that the ailment from which I'm being the poison that I had seems as if my aorta is being cut. Now we know that this is the reason why he died. He was poisoned. You said Allah protected him. But the Quran says, if you make something up about us, I will seize you by the hand and sever your aorta. Allah is telling Muhammad what he would do. And then Muhammad, in his ailment from which he died, said to Aisha, hey, man, I feel as if my aorta is being cut. Why was he cursed and not protected? Why didn't Allah protect him? And what did he say according to the verse? It says, had he made up anything, had he attributed to us falsely any words, had he invented anything against us. The hadith I showed you said that he fabricated words that Allah had not spoken. And this verse is telling us that if he does, Allah will seize him by his hand and sever his aorta. So this is showing more that Tabari is 100% correct. The satanic verses are 100% correct because Muhammad had to have created something that Allah had not said, fabricate something, and then be cursed by Allah and have his heart severed because he didn't die a natural death. He was poisoned to death.
I do want to hone on
Okay.
what he said. There's no corruption in Revelation. He said that the Revelation, when he was under the satanic spell or whatever, he never had like a bad revelation. The issue is with this. Are you saying during the 6th month, Muhammad stopped having revelations? If that's the case, you have to be able to provide the evidence. But we see from the satanic verses in certain Najm 19, according to your Al-Tabari and everyone else, that truly Muhammad said something is very blasphemous. He said, تلك الغرانيق العلا وإن شفاعتهم ترجى. And that got shifted in the Islamic paradigm and abrogated according to Surah Al-Hajj 52. So if you correspond in Najm 19 and 20 to, again, or cross-reference, if you will, Surah Al-Hajj 52, I believe, when وَمَا أَلْقَى blah, 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 and then Allah abrogates what was thrown on his tongue. This is an example how Muhammad messed up a revelation and Allah had to abrogate it. So this is what he said, that he said, these are the gharaniq, the pagan gods or the birds, they will take your shafa'ah. I don't know what shafa'ah is.
Intercede.
Intercession.
They will
Intercede.
intercede for you.
So he literally uttered an actual revelation and claimed it to be from Allah. And this is according to, again, Ibn Abbas, Al-Tabari, Al-Tabarani, and most of them. Yes, I understand now it is weak, but this is not the issue. The issue is that there ought to be the cross-reference, and the cross-reference ought to be true. Because if we connect Najm 19 to Hajj 52, and then we see if your scholars are making this up for no reason, or was any truth to the merits. To believe that this revelation was given at some point and Allah has abrogated. Because in Surah Al-Hajj, it's saying it's abrogated. Okay, so what was abrogated? You can't just say Allahu Alam. You have to tell me what was abrogated.
Okay, so I can respond.
Yeah, sure, bro.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, sorry.
okay, so
going on.
I know that is a lot to respond to. So I do want to start with the Prophet's peace be upon him's death. So I know you pulled up the hadith and then you showed me the verses. So I honestly, this is where my mind goes. The hadith, you know, I believe when he had got poisoned, he had just ate one bite, so he did get a little bit of the poison. For example, there was another companion who ate like almost his entire meal and then he died on the spot. So like I do believe that, you know, that poison had effect on him long term. So maybe it got worse around the time he was getting to his you know, age of death and sicknesses, whatever. So maybe he was feeling it more. Because his death was definitely a while after he had got poisoned. And then, you know, him saying he feels as if his aorta is being cut, he's not actually, like, it's not actually being cut. Like, the verse says that we would have cut it, but the thing is, like, if this is, like, after the Quran's been fully revealed and everything, and so much time has passed, like, if he was saying falsehood before, like, making that promise that he would cut his aorta, he probably would have cut it right away, not like wait till he's actually at the time of death to cut it. And then, like, you know,
That's why I said That's why I said he was cursed, because he was suffered. He had to suffer for what he did.
Yeah, I guess you could interpret it that way.
Yeah, would you say that Muhammad is a hafiz of the Quran?
Yes, I would say he had the entire Quran memorized.
Okay, and if that's
Also,
the case, would he
also
be
another.
fully aware of this verse?
What was that?
If he is like someone that memorized the Quran 1,000,000%, then he would know this verse, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so why would he use that verbiage then?
I mean, not maybe he was just being honest for what he felt. I like he didn't say like I mean he would have mentioned he would also mention that this is my punishment or something. He didn't.
Well, he not necessary. So look, let's say
Also
I
in
know
Arabia they had a lot of
part of the
expressions
verse.
that were similar to that. I believe like around their time there were certain expressions that were like common usage for like if you felt like if there was a happy occasion or something sad or upset or whatever. Maybe I think I had heard that was one of the common ones for pain. But another
Well,
thing I did
look,
wanna
if I'm fully aware, if I'm fully aware of the Quranic verse and the implication of it, and I mention part of it, I'm assuming that you, as my student, that also memorized the Quran from me,
Mhm.
would understand that I'm giving you a message here, correct? If I say "Qul huwa Allahu ahad" and I stop there, I'm calling you to remember the Tawheed, for example. If I'm saying that this is what Allah says, I'm going to sever his aorta, and I say I feel my aorta is being severed, what am I telling you?
You're referring to the verse.
Yeah, like if I feel like if there was some proof that his aorta was actually cut, then that would mean something. But
So his
I
words don't.
I don't know. I feel like Allah was saying that he would cut it like right away. Like he wouldn't allow him to get that far and literally allow him to live out his full entire life, and then at the end,
But he
just
didn't.
make it feel as if it was being cut.
Remember, in his death, he was also humiliated by his own Sahaba, because at one point he was asking for a pen and paper to write, and they were like, "We got what we need from him. It's okay. Don't give him anything." So he was even ignored. And after he passed away, he was literally just left to lie in the heat. So the people had got what they wanted.
Okay. I look into that. I never heard those, but I know like yesterday to the Bewitched Hadith. I never saw it, so I'll look and see. How I
Before, I know you
understand it.
need to go.
Also, guys,
I
I
know-
do apologize. Like I do apologize for not understanding. And I also hate that I have to go in like 6 minutes. That's
So before you,
stretching.
that's why I saw Paul also said that I was changing topics. I know you got to run, but I just want to stick to this about the satanic verses.
Yeah, and
You
also
know
I
what?
do have a lot more to say. Like even with the
No worries.
the whole concept today. Like I wanted to talk a little bit about each of the misunderstandings because
No worries.
I like for example the previous guy. I know he had good intentions, but like him saying the reasons they attacked the Romans was because of them saying bad things about the prophet. That wasn't the case. I know he was like trying to defend, but that wasn't actually true. So there was just a lot that I wanted to talk about that I won't get the chance.
Give me
but-
1 minute. Give me 1 minute, and then we can go to the topic. But I know
Okay.
you've got to run. Do you know what the word Asbab Nuzul means?
No.
It means the reason for revelation. Now, I may be butchering the way I say it, but it's basically saying that the reason why the verse came down, and we have Wahidi is on the screen. Wahidi is giving us the Asbab Nuzul, which is the reason for revelation. Now, this is for Surah 22:52, talking about again the reason why Satan came and changed. Now, I want to read this for you. So, this is the reason for revelation. Now, you can't get any more clearer than this. It says, "Never we sent a messenger prophet before thee," quoting the verse, said, "When the messenger of Allah saw that his people were shunning him," meaning they were leaving him, they weren't interested in him, "he was aggravated by their by their rejection of the message he brought to them, and he secretly wished that Allah revealed something to him which would bring him and his people closer together, keen as he was to see them accept the faith. One day he sat in one of the congregations of the Quraysh and attracted a huge number of its members, and he wished that Allah, exalted is he, does not reveal to him anything on that day that might repel them from him. Allah, exalted is he, revealed to them Surah Al-Najm by the star when it setteth, Surah 53. Then it says, the messenger of Allah recited it, and when he reached, have you thought upon Allat, al-Uzza, and Manat, the third, the other, quoting Surah 53, 19 to 20, the devil put on his tongue what he secretly wished and hoped for and said, these are the mighty cranes, and their intercession is hoped for. Now when the Quraysh heard this, they were very pleased. The messenger of Allah, give him peace, carried on reciting until the end of the surah, and then prostrated. All the Muslims followed suit and prostrated. All the idolaters who were present prostrated, and those who were present, whether Muslim or disbeliever, prostrated, except Wahid al-whatever and whatever, as they were too advanced in age and could not prostrate, but they both grabbed a handful of dust and put it to their foreheads. The Quraysh then dispersed, happy with what they had heard, and said, Muhammad has mentioned our idols with complimentary terms. We know that Allah gives life and takes it away. He creates and provides sustenance. But these idols of ours will intercede for us with him. And then it goes on, now Muhammad has associated with them and we are all with him. So he's basically saying he committed shirk. That evening, Jibril came to him and said, what have you done? Now you can read the rest. This is again the reason for revelation. And even according to the scriptures that are given to us, the explanations given to us, these guys, Wahidi, the reason for revelation, that you can't get any more reason than this, is telling you it's because Satan put words on his tongue, made him commit shirk, prostrated to Allat, al-Uzza, and Manat, said that the idols will intercede for us with Allah. And again, this is pulling you outside of Islam. So again, remember now, the things that were once sahih, once trusted, once the mainstream belief, has now been drawn out and taken out because Muslims are afraid that if people like you see the fact that in Islam, according to the Asbab an-Nuzul, take a screenshot, there's the word, write it down and find out what does it mean. Ask yourself, ask whoever you're finding out, is it 100% truth and authentic? And then go and read the Wahidi or the tafsir for 2252, because this is telling you that Muhammad worshipped a false god, committed shirk, and encouraged paganism. All in one verse. He made the Muslims prostrate to the idols, and where were the idols? Still the Kaaba. So all I'm asking you to do, truth is, take a screenshot of what the word Asbab an-Nuzul, find out what it means in Arabic regarding Islam, and then write down anywhere you want, search for the reason for revelation for Surah 2252, and then come back and tell me if I'm lying about the reason for revelation. Now the reason tells you, it may not say this is the satanic verses, but what had happened? Muhammad was preaching words that Satan had put on his tongue. And those are the satanic verses, the words of Satan. Sorry, I should have put it on TikTok.
Okay, I do have to go now, but I just want to respond really quickly. I just hope I get to say whatever I have to say really quickly
You
before I
can
go.
speak until you need to go.
Okay, so yeah, I'll definitely look into that. I'll go back in the stream and do some research on that. I appreciate the talk. You know, if I get some time later, maybe I can join again later. I don't know how long you're streaming. If anything, I'll just try another day. But when I do join, I would like if you change the topic or whatever next stream, I still would like to talk about, you know, the picture that's on the screen right now, all these different categories. I know really quickly, like with the Hadith too, I know usually we're not encouraged to go online because yeah, they can update things. That's why most, like, we do usually go to the books and then go back to like the more older books to make sure, like, you know, we're looking at the right thing. So I'm gonna look into the book that was shown and then the thing you just showed me, and then I'll get back to that, because really me personally, like, even any like discussions, I for me, like, weak hadith or fabricated hadith aren't even up for discussion for me because I just don't believe them. But like if you're saying that it might have been sahih before, I'll look into that and then get back to you, and then maybe then we can talk about it. Like even with the Prophet's death, like I do apologize if I'm not understanding, but I feel like my personal way of looking at it, like just the timelines, what was actually said and whatever. That's just the way I'm understanding it. But I'll look into that a little bit more too, because even the bewitched hadith, you know, I feel like that was more of a humanly test for him than that wasn't something Satan was directly trying to do him that Allah would protect him from. I do think like Allah protects the revelation and whatever, but I do think him getting sick from the black magic was a test. I don't think the black magic was enough to like cause him to mess up any revelation, because there's no proof that any was messed up. Similarly, there's no proof that any wasn't messed up, but we also have no proof that any was messed up. But we do have the verse that says if it was messed up, Allah would have like abolished it or corrected it. And yeah, I just like there, like you guys, I did see earlier there was a lot of different hadiths about like women being mats and stuff. Like I completely do not agree with that. Like I've never met any Muslims that do agree with that. When I come back, if it's later today or next stream, like,
I'm sorry to jump in. I want to ask you this:
Mhm.
if Muslims don't agree with it, does it mean it's not authentic?
yes, because if it's authentic, we kind of do have to go by authentic hadith, because that's following the
what's
sunnah.
this? Do all Muslims agree that a child can be have dingy?
Uh,
That you can sleep
no.
with a child?
Child, no.
Okay, now watch what you said. All Muslims don't agree with it, but yet it's in the Quran. So you can't say all Muslims don't agree with it, therefore it's wrong. Then you're saying Allah was wrong, because in the Quran it tells you clearly that you can do dingy with a girl that is so young, she's not yet reached the years of menstruation. To me and you, that's a child. You are
Okay.
saying because we don't accept that, it can't be true, yet the Quran is saying it's true.
Okay, just really quick. I know that topic, like there's a lot to talk about. I definitely look forward to talking about that one next time. I really appreciate the time, everybody, and I'll look into everything you guys said. I do know with the verse, it's like there's a different definition of a child, like
When
with
are
the
you coming back?
menstruation. With the menstruation, I think like because there are some cases where girls get it really late, so that's why I was saying if they don't reach it, because there's some rulings where like if a girl doesn't get menstruation like up to 15 years old, then they have a set age where okay, 15, maybe 17, she's considered an adult.
Nine.
He might be
When
talking
is he
about
gonna come back,
that
James? So
context.
I
When are
make
you
sure that
coming
I'm
back,
here.
Truth? When are you coming back? Are you
I mean,
tomorrow same time?
I'll try tomorrow. I'll try tomorrow. You know, I was honestly supposed to be on a like 20-minute break. I think I took a little bit longer. So, but thank you guys. Thank you guys. I do appreciate it. If I said anything offensive or like I guess annoying, I do
No, you didn't.
apologize.
No. Look, we want disagreement. We don't want you to agree with us. We want you to disagree with us. We want you to discuss this intellectually and with honesty. But as long as you're honest, it doesn't matter if we agree or disagree.
Okay,
We'll meet
yeah,
up
yeah.
tomorrow and
I
we'll
promise you
talk
guys,
about this.
I'm fasting right now, so technically I'm not allowed to lie. So anything I said today, I promise was completely honest. My personal interpretations and beliefs, like, so yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back.
Lovely jubbly, man. So we look forward to talking to you. But again, you know, when it comes to these topics about, for example, what the Quran teaches and what the Quran says, and then you guys are going to talk about special cases. This is why we go back to the tafsirs, the explanation. We look at the four schools of thought, or what the madhab has said, or whatever. Tell me which one. Who do you follow? What are you?
Honestly, like I whenever I do take a ruling, I look at all the different schools of thought and
So all the different schools of thought agree that you can marry and penetrate a child. All of them. All of them. Which one do you take?
well, that depends on the definition of a child. Like we don't agree with the definition that we have as child.
Watch. Muhammad married a 6-year-old, right? Do you consider a 6-year-old a child?
I have to like confirm because I know they didn't like
It's a big
the
topic,
contract
James.
happened at
We're
6,
not gonna be able to get this in 5
But-
minutes.
but there would be a reason that like he would have waited, you know, that because then if they really allowed anything, why would he wait 3 entire years, you know?
How long is your break normally? I don't want to take your whole break with work.
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
You tell your boss you need an hour.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What's your definition of a child? What's your definition of a child?
Anybody like somebody that's physically and mentally mature, usually by reaching the age of puberty.
What if they don't reach puberty?
Like let's say you're 15 and you haven't gotten your first period, then then maybe that you might be a special case, because special cases do
So
exist.
what if you're 9 years old? Sorry, I'm cutting in because I know the sake
Yeah.
of time. What if
Okay.
you're 9 years old and don't have your period yet?
Then that wouldn't I from
Is
what
that
I
a
know
child?
right now, I don't believe like that would
Is that a
be.
child?
What was that?
Is that a child?
If you
Is that a
haven't had your
child?
period and you're 9 years old, then that would I believe that could be a child. I don't know if that applies to Aisha or not. So I would have to do more
Imam
research.
Ahmad bin Hanbal. Yeah,
What was
Imam
that?
Ahmad bin Hanbal and Abu Hanifa agree that this is a good marker to penetrate, whether you reach your puberty or not at 9 years
Okay.
old. As long as you're 9 years old, you're good to go.
Okay, so I'll look into that. I as you know, of course, I just don't want to just believe something I hear, but I will look into that. Okay. Okay, I definitely
but
gotta
you're
go,
right.
guys.
Every school of thought have a different definition of a child, but Ahmad ibn Hanbal uses a marker of age. 9 years old. 9 years old, you're
Okay,
you're
so I'll look into that and then I'll be back. Okay.
Okay, dude. You have a good day.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys. And yeah, I appreciate it.
No worries, dude. You come back.
All right. Bye.
Okay, ciao. I know that's a big topic, but I want to just to show. It's it's unfortunate. It's just such a short time he's come up, but when it comes to these topics, guys, we want them to try to understand the age or a child or the definition. And again, remember, we have to go to the scholars to see what the scholars think and say. And he can't now. This topic, when it comes to 65.4, there's no running from it because every one of the scholars and even all the tafsirs explain it clearly that you're talking about someone that is too young. But Shield, she muted.
It's highly
I'm here.
problematic.
Sorry about that. Hi, brothers. How are you? God bless you all.
Hi, Alikat. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, I wanted to extend an invitation. We are putting together a pretty big debate for Saturday. They're going to be 15 to 20-minute debates, and we are doing it to raise for Shield a Voice to go into Oklahoma City to pass out 10,000 flyers in June. And we were wondering if you guys might be interested in doing it with us. We're making the flyer today. We're actually discussing it now. And I would love for both of you guys to please join.
Do you mean in person or like online?
It's going to be hosted on Sister Daughters Live.
Okay. And
And
what's the
so,
topics?
there's going to be a few different topics. We'll send all of you guys the flyer. There's going to be a few different topics that you can choose from. She knows more of the details. I don't know. I know Brother Oz is in here right now listening. Oz, if you can ask daughter to come in here, maybe she can better explain.
Oz knows my contact, so he can contact me directly too. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I would definitely join.
I may be traveling Saturday. I'm not too sure just yet, because I'm taking a week away before I go for another 2 weeks away. But if I'm not traveling on Saturday,
Are you going on vacation, brother?
yeah, I am. I'll be there.
Nice.
I'm gonna be I'm sailing the
Are you going where I
Mediterranean.
think you're going?
No, I'm gonna be sailing around the Mediterranean.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Good
the
for
first week I'm going to I'm just traveling further north, and then I'm gonna go to the Med for 2 weeks after in April. First week of 2 weeks of April. So yeah, so what you can do, Alicat, is if you can send me on, put something on the screen. Okay, guys on YouTube, what we're gonna do is I will try to put the link in the YouTube so you guys can eventually see it. And Elisa, I definitely need my time out, man. For those that I do this 5 days a week. I think I'm not sure how many others go live like this 5 days, but man, sometimes I just need a timeout, especially after Friday when a guy says, I'll sleep with a 6-year-old, but I won't sleep with a 5-year-old. See, that just makes me crazy. Hang on, let me put you on the big screen.
So this is what it's for. It's going into Oklahoma City in June, from June 20th or June 19th to the 20th. And we will be in front of the state capitol building, passing out 10,000 flyers, raising awareness for missing and exploited children. Everything goes towards this. It's all nonprofit. We don't keep a penny of it. We don't get paid for this. This is 100% charity. And so this is what we're doing the debate for. And so if anybody is also in the Oklahoma City area and you would like to be a part of this, please come out. We're definitely building a team for, we could pass out 10,000 flyers a lot faster with more hands. So if anybody wants to come, you don't have to worry about a place to stay. We take care of the Airbnb. We take care of all of the food. All you have to do is get there, which is what the donations go to. It helps with the team. It helps everybody gets a t-shirt. Everything that is donated is 100% used for nonprofit charity. And so if you guys would like to help with this, that would be a blessing. Also, I have over 2,000 pictures of missing children on my page. If you could please just share out the faces of the missing children. It doesn't matter where you're located. I have kids from all over the world. I have them from Canada. I have kids in Africa. I have kids in the US. I have kids in China. And so if you can just share out the faces of the missing children, that's always the biggest donation. Honestly, we have to be a voice for these kids that don't have a voice, and share their face and share their story and keep saying their names. And so that is the most important part, is making sure that the children are seen and their voices are heard, right? And that's what we do. We speak for them. And so Oklahoma City, from the 19th to the 21st, we will be down there. And so absolutely. And Paul Bishop, I will be expecting, I'm going to go ahead and let daughter know that you are going to be a part of the debate on Saturday. Is that a yes?
Sure, yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah, okay, great. So thank you guys so much. And I hope that everybody has a blessed day, and God bless you guys.
Okay, listen quickly. I wrote on the YouTube Shield of Voice. Is there a website?
We are building the website right now. We're still working on the actual website. Right now, I'm running everything through like my Facebook and my TikTok. We're waiting for an actual EIN number so that way we can secure our domain as a nonprofit organization. So we're just waiting for some things, some official things. Sister Little Deer is working on all of that.
Lovely jubbly. So guys, in the YouTube, on the
God bless you for
TikTok.
your work.
All glory to the kingdom of God, brother. This is all the Lord.
Sorry, James.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just thinking that whoever wants to help can, on the TikTok, can take a screenshot. I moved the comments so you guys can share this as well, please. Lovely jubbly. Okie dokie. Comments back on.
Thank you, James.
God bless
Thank
us. So
you
there's
so much,
over 120
brothers.
people on YouTube listening as well. I added to the
Amen.
YouTube.
Amen.
This issue, this issue with missing children is a lot larger than we, the commoners, know. I follow this. I think it was one of the directors or the original CIA that was part of Sound of Freedom. And he has an active social media, and I follow him, and he posts videos. I think he's Mormons, by the way. He's a Mormon believer. But regardless of his actual personal belief, I pray that he would reach the truth and comes to know Christ. But he talks about the missing children and this operation. So I do believe, yes, it is the ex-CIA that actually was part of the actual movie.
Sound of Freedom, yes, that's correct.
Yes.
And so, what I don't even, I know I have it as well on some, but when it comes to the missing kids, I always say I don't care about what religion I don't care their background, I don't care their ethnicity, I don't care what culture they come from, I don't care. These are missing kids, right? And at that point, lay the debate down, right? Open your heart and know that there's a child that is lost, right? A child that anything can be happening to that kid, right? It doesn't matter. Like, we live in a cruel world. And so when kids come up missing, like, I feel like there should be no excuse on why we're not looking for them. And I don't understand why nobody's talking about this.
That's right. Come on, people. Come on, people. Just share this. And again, remember that if this was your kid, your child missing, you'd want to do everything to find that child. So thank you, Alicat. But guys,
absolutely, brother. God bless you. Thank you so much. And Paul Bishop, I will send you the details this afternoon, okay?
Send it to me as well. I may be home.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Super duper. Right, guys, I've got a minute left.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Guys, 1 more minute left, and then I got to go. And we go to the Psalms. 1 more minute left. We're on Psalm 91 today. 91 Psalms. 91 today. Quick question for all of you out there. How many Psalms are there in total? Quick question in the chat. Come on. How many Psalms are there?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know. It's 100 something, 160 something, wasn't it?
Okay, we got 160 something from Paul. Next. Bult says 150. Anyone else? 150, 150. 128.
See, he's saying about what? Really?
150.
Oh.
We have about 150 Psalms.
See, I'm close enough.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. And we are 91 today, guys. We are 91. But I've got, we need to, let me just see if she sent the message to me. Not yet. Let me just see, because I get into trouble a lot, guys. With you guys cause so much trouble for me. Dude for Christ, I saw you called earlier, bro, when I was on the phone, so I'll get back to you in a minute. But I saw what you said. Thank you so much. For those that are not following me on the YouTube, the Agents 007, the Agents 007. I did say that I was going to do the topic about the pregnancy and stuff, and I need to dig some more because, you know, Mufasa didn't make it make sense. So I'm going to dig in some more to find out about how these people are accepting that a child can be, a person, a woman, can be pregnant for 4, 2, 4, 6, 8 years. Only in Islam is a woman pregnant for such a long time. Only in Islam is a woman pregnant for up to 7 long years. That's going to be the topic tomorrow. We're just going to see if Muslims want to engage. I'm not sure how it's going to go because it might be something, you know, that needs more research than just a 5-minute. But let's read. My refuge and my fortress, Psalm 91. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a buckler. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 by your right hand, and it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge. No evil shall be allowed to befall you, no plague come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you, to regard you in all ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent, you will trample underfoot. Because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Amen. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, guys, tomorrow, is it possible to be pregnant for that long? Is it possible to be pregnant up to 7 long years? I just want to know from Muslims, man. Do you guys believe the rubbish that your Sahaba gave you? Muhammad and Allah? Do you believe this? Paul, any last words, brother?
God bless you, James, and please stay away from Islam, because if Islam teaches you evil, you want to run the other way. And like we put it with a contrast with our kid, you can't look at someone says bless the one that insults you, and the other person says attack the one that insults you. God bless you all.
God bless, brother. That's exactly true, guys. Remember what the Bible teaches. Remember what the Bible teaches. If Jesus is the one saying that you need to love your enemy, and the Quran is saying to go and fight them that are close to you first, and then those that are furthest away. It's crazy, right? How would you lead someone astray? You would tell them the opposite of what is true. How would you lead people astray? You will tell them the opposite of what is true. Doesn't the Quran tell us the opposite of what the Bible says? Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Muhammad's like, yeah, he said that, but don't believe him. That was a guy called Jesus that said that. We follow Isa. But gots to go. God bless you guys. And tomorrow is a new day. I actually enjoy the comment by Nisha Park said, after the live is finished, just play the videos, something free to hype the video. Just swipe left on the comments and press the hype. That will and that's all. Let's show some support for James. So let's just get these videos to grow, because we want more people, more Muslims to watch these videos so that they can see that there's no truth in Islam. No truth in Islam. If you like that picture, I made 2 of them. I made another. Check the size of the woman's stomach, people. Look at the size of the woman's stomach. What'd she say? She'd be like, man, my child is 7 years old in my stomach right now. My child is 7 years old in my stomach. He's going to come out with a fully grown beard. Fully grown beard, man. Can you imagine that? Full of the teeth and everything. Teeth in the mouth, and now you're going to be breastfeeding the child. The child's going to be chewing on it, man. Come on, man. God bless you guys. Stay safe.